4 getting absolutely muscled there. At turn 1, that was an absolute disaster.
Oh, he spun!
Oh no! That's massive for Adam!
All over the rear bumper of Spin, mate. These guys are hitting each other like nothing we've ever seen before.
G pulls out to the outside. Here we go again.
AEST there, he's going to go for a move here. The 2 Ferraris in front of him.
G went wide. G's in
Oh!
trouble with Schumacher. Oh, good contact.
Oh, massive contact there.
This is going to be an incredible finish for these two.
The speed, the overspeed happening. They're going to go 3 wide into
Oh.
turn 1.
There's contact there from Tracy with Kunkel on the way in. He tries to reach Messi, gets his way.
Shoved out wide. Oh, huge contact.
This is fantastic. On the outside though in turn 1.
As he shots it down the inside anyway. What is this? Oh my gosh! What a move from GTR!
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sector 1 Sim Racing live from the Shizuoka Prefecture in Fuji. We're here at the Fuji Speedway, although just ignore Road Atlanta. I've had to bring the laptop with me across because I've been flown over at the last minute. If you were watching the community series last week, you will know why. I am Brent, aka Karen, and we have got an absolute bucket load of racing to get through tonight with Divisions 4 and 2 taking on the mighty Fuji Speedway, home of the 2007 and 2008 Japanese Grand Prix. The 2008 one, of course, that absolutely soaking wet battle. Will we see some rain? We will wait and see. Joining me in the box tonight as well, here on the foothills of the beautiful Fuji Prefecture, Shizuoka, Captain Muffin, aka Aiden. Are you here, Muff?
I certainly am. Karen, aka Brent. Good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you're in. Hope you're all doing well and keen for another awesome night of action here at Sector 1 Sim Racing. The boys have been putting on a show so far this round, so with Division 1 and Division 3 happening the last week, but now got Division 4 and Division 2 ready to get, put on some good quality racing for us here. And yeah, the weather gods, they're looking favourably upon us spectators, I should say. And yeah, she's going to be some wet run tonight, I feel.
Beautiful. Well, we'll just chuck our way over to the course. Fuji Speedway, 4.5 kilometres, 16 turns, a race lap record around here in a Formula 1 car, a 118.4. We're not going to see speeds that fast. A, we don't have Felipe Massa in the field, and B, we are in the GT3s for tonight, which will be absolutely intriguing. We saw some fantastic battles across Group A and also the community series on Thursday night. There was a lot of thrills, some spills, great action all round. So we might switch over now to the Division 4 points because this is where things are getting absolutely in terms of the championship. As you can see, Rev's Law leading the way. He's got a massive gap at the moment, and I believe, I might be wrong on this, guys in chat. You might need to help me out with this one. If he gets to a 66-point lead tonight against Isa Renegade or Benia, or even a guy with no skills, they're all sort of mathematically in it, but if it's over 66 points, I do believe Rev's Law may very well walk out of this round champion, but take my maths with a grain of salt because it's usually always wrong. Muff, have you kept eyes on Division 4?
I have been keeping an eye on this round in particular, just seeing how they're going on the track here in the practice, leading up to the qualifying session we have coming up very soon. And yeah, I think most of the boys here have done most of the practice with me in the dry running, but just as we got closer to start time, the heavens have opened up and it's really turned the tables here on everyone. Everyone's still just getting the wet tyres on. It's very challenging for the boys here, I believe.
Yeah, and it's got a few of the Division 4 drivers a little bit nervous. I think it's going to be an absolute slobber knocker, but keeping with the chat, there's quite a few people in tonight. Levensfield's in, Robert Rice is in, Bumcrack. Hope you're all well, guys. Bogzilla's in the house. Did some racing in the community series on Thursday night. Lenocious evening. The Beaver said Revs to win. He's been a hot favourite through the talk of the field. Mr. CP himself is actually down at the track this round, which is huge for Team CP chasers at the track. Good evening as well to George Cook. George is in the house. And Blind Man is also here. So, big turnouts. And with the all-head honcho here, I think he's pretty keen to see how your boy goes tonight in Debrev, Buff. So
I'm very keen to see how Debrev goes. The McLaren felt very comfortable here last week in the dry and in wet conditions. The McLaren just feels absolutely marvellous. So I've got a feeling Debrev could be on for a good round here.
Yep, and I think we might kick off festivities in terms of Division 4 qualifying. Looking very much forward to seeing what these guys can do and whether or not the rain will play a big factor. There's been a lot of talk up and down the pit lane in terms of confidence, and quite a few guys a little bit nervous as to how their packages will go. I don't believe this season Division 4 has run in the wet yet. I may be wrong in terms of... they might have run in the rain at Spa, but yeah, it's... if it does rain, strap in and hold on, because these cars are absolutely insane in the wet. They really are. And I think... am I right in saying that it won't be just... like, a lot of people have been talking that it is a Toyota super strong round, but I might be right in saying that the Nissan and McLaren are up and about as well. So, Muffin... Do you want to hit the big red and white button there? I think Carbon Boy said he's made it orange, but we've taken that cap off for tonight.
Yeah, it's not orange for now, but I can guarantee when Carbon Boy gets in the box later tonight, it will become very orange once again. But for now, buttons been pushed, the boys have been sent out. Let's get this qualifying underway.
Yep, so we will just get into the box here, and it looks like... the guys are ready to go. So we are heading out to the track right now. Very overcast conditions. You can see inside the Toyota Supra of Womble, and he's made no bones about it. Not looked forward to this rain at all. So we're just waiting for our first cab off the rank. Revs, our championship leader, not put a foot wrong this season, unless it was at Willow Springs, where under pressure he had a big moment and ended up finishing back half of the field in the second sprint race. It will be intriguing to see if anyone can put more pressure on him and see if he cracks or if he excels. And as you can see, wet weather has arrived. Just behind him is Womble, the team leader of Red Mist Racing, donning the black IPA livery tonight. He's not really been the keenest in terms of the wet weather, as we've just said, and he really has had glimpses of some really quick performances in that car. It's just he's got to find consistency, and that's what he's looking for tonight. Benny,
100%.
Oh, you go.
So 100% definitely is. It's going to be one of those things where, especially in conditions like this, it's not about winning the race in the first corner. It's about being there when the race is nearly over.
Yeah, and looking at Benier at the moment for Respawn Esports, he's one of the title contenders here against Revs. And at this point, it's he's just got to finish in front. He's got no other option but to do that. Just behind is Kezar, driving for the Brocchio 5 Sim Racing crew in the Subaru BRZ. And wet weather-wise, keep your eyes on the BRZ because of the aero. It's the class of the field in terms of the aerodynamics. The wet weather being the great neutralizer might just help this little car in terms of the straights and give it a bit of a leg up in terms of the corners. We got DR Renegade. Oh, he's changed the name. Whoops. From Hoon Corp, and this is the main contender to Revs tonight, the teammate. He's got to make it all happen now and hope that Revs, by divine intervention, has a big moment. Snake Eyes for ISO Esports in the Porsche. I'm looking forward to seeing how this package go. We haven't had the Porsche on the track yet, as far as I'm aware. Oh, actually, no, we had Budsy last week. So, the guys in chat, you might have to let me know how Budsy went last week and keep me in the loop. Keep the chat flowing. Laminator for the Lightning Motorsports entry. And Laminator's had a couple of rounds where it's been very missed, but when he's been on fire and been able to put it all together, God, he's quick. The most unluckiest driver in the field this season, Petey Pops, driving for Doghouse Motorsport, and let's make no bones about it, if he didn't have bad luck, he would have no luck whatsoever this season. He churned in some incredible performances last season in the Aston Martin, but this season it's just had absolutely nothing go his way, so we're hoping there's a change of fortune for him tonight. We got Dazza driving out of Kraken Esports in the Toyota Supra as well, and Dazza's also looking for a bit of a redemption here. He's been quick. He's just got to put it all in and give us one of those big defining performances. We know he's a race winner on his day. And your teammate, Muff, Debrev, driving in the CP Motorsports crew. He's driving the best media livery. How's he feeling? Have you had any words with him tonight?
I've had a few words, and well, let's just say he's feeling quietly confident, knowing the car has got good speed around this track and doesn't mind the wet weather, but very much it's not, when you put in the factor of all the other cars around you, anything can happen. So he's got to go in there, not get too confident, and just sort of put in the best laps he can and not try and push the car too hard.
Oops, speaking of pushing too hard, just a little bit there, VF has had a big moment out of Net's corner. He is driving for Dadson Racing, and he's just needing that one big performance as Daz has set the fastest lap of the race with a 51.3. What we might do here, Muff, is I reckon if I'm good with this camera and got the skills to pay the bills, we will jump on board with VF here for a lap of Fuji Speedway.
Definitely we will. Let's jump on board now with VF as we look going down the main straight here, coming into the first corner. I'm going to try and pronounce it, Daiichi. I'll probably pronounce it wrong.
No, you got it.
Excellent. Yes, very hard braking zone, especially in the wet. You want to keep the car as straight as possible and then just very gently turn around. Use a bit of inside curb, but watch the outside. That green AstroTurf can be deadly. And as we go here, a very short run down into Coca-Cola corner. That's a tongue twister. Say that 20 times really quickly. Use a bit of inside curve there. Don't use too much, otherwise the stewards will get mad. Coming into 100R now. Very long right-hander. Corner goes on for a lifetime. You have to be very, very patient with the throttle and step on it like you're stepping on a nail, just very slowly. Braking into the hairpin now. Very much a change of scenery from a long corner to a very short one. Thankfully, nice open exit. Come around to 300R now, which brings you to the slowest corner on the track. One that's going to be a very big passing opportunity, I feel, for this race and the Div 2 race coming up as well. Once again, straight on the entry, try and get the car rotated in, and then you got another sort of slow left-hand, a bit like a chicane more or less, that section there. Straight afterwards, coming into the last sector of the track, very twisty, very good for the cars that have really good aero balance and are very nimble. Coming up to the second to last corner now, like a slow left-hander. You want to sort of late apex this thing, use a bit of curb on the outside, try and get some speed on the exit, and then this one here, the last corner, the one corner that I feel doesn't have a true racing line. Try and get the best you can to make the straight as long as possible, carry as much speed down it, and then you got about another maybe 15, 20 seconds or so to think to yourself, have I done a good lap, have I not done a good lap, and then you get the time in line and you will find out exactly how well you've gone.
With a 1 minute 52.602 there, that's a good lap by VF. Puts him in P9 at this point of the race. He's doing a good job. We'll just see who's up the front now with Dazza Sturley. Dazza only 0.04 of a second ahead of Revs. That's actually quite critical. The big thing for Revs is in that Nissan, it is a car that is, he's 0.3 up here at this point. Pulling into Dunlop corner now. He's looking very, very strong. We'll jump on board with the Hooncorp Esports Nissan. You can hear him feathering that throttle. He's really not wanting to put too much throttle into the rear tyres. He's looking quite comfortable behind the wheel too so far in this wet stint of the quali muff.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of purple as well, no bias, but the Brev is currently up by nearly 0.3 going into the last sector here as well.
Oh, so the aerodynamics of the McLaren really starting to show their touch a little bit. We'll just go back up the front with Revs as he comes across the line. It's a big, long straight here at Fuji Speedway, and it's not really a track you want to make mistakes on. And look at that, 1 minute 50.2, so he's definitely cleared of 1.1 seconds to the good. We'll go back to Dobrev right now, and he's going to have an enormous tow. As Snake Eyes has gone to the second place, but Renegade to the top with a 1 minute 49. 8.42, so the times are starting to drop.
Definitely. Dobrev to P4 now was a 152.336. Lemonade to the top.
Oh, wow, what a lap!
149.666, and also as well, something we've missed, Benya X has gone to the pit lane, and he's taken the gamble. He's chucked on the soft tyres.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Oh, and he's spun already.
Yep, that'll be the exit of pit lane, and that might be quality done as well. 3 seconds. The exit of the pit lane is just so slippery there. You're not going to want to take any chances going out of that exit. That might be Benius qualifying over. And with the track drying the way it is, the likes of Womble, who's actually purple by 0.8 of a second right now, so it's definitely drying out. If you've just seen Benius come out of the pits like that, do you really want to take the risk?
I think if you could, if you're able to sort of keep the car straight and not nab that 3-second penalty, you definitely could make the soft tyres work. But it's just trying to get back to that dry line, because if you just cut across and get a penalty, you're going to serve it on that main straight, and those soft tyres will be null and void.
And the big thing as well is, while the track starts to dry out just that little bit, if you go offline once, you're just going to go straight into the Shadow Realm. As Rev's Law comes around the final corner right now, we'll see what lap time he is capable of. P5 at the moment, half a second down a Laminator, so it's going to be interesting to see how much the track is drying and how quick it's drying as well.
Yep, I think it's drying pretty quickly here. I expect him to go to the top, as he does.
Oh, wow. 47.7, so it's definitely drying. So a lot of these guys are going to want to leave their laps to the very last minute. There might be a few that are already on their final flyers.
Yep, as Renegade goes to the top now, Snake Eyes to P3.
Yep.
New pole time, 147.484, and I suspect it's going to go down further than that. Dazza to P4 now, Keza to P8.
Yep, the times are starting to come in. Harry Hot laps are in, as Laminator just goes with a 47.8.
Yes, currently 5 seconds left in the qualifying. We've got a few cars crossing the start-finish line. The last person to finish a lap, in my opinion, VF, he is on for a good lap here. He will have the driest track, so to speak, out of everyone else in the field.
Yep.
Don't be surprised if VF snags a sneaky pole here.
Benny has definitely done. It's going to be absolute hot to trot chaos. We'll keep up to the first car on the rank. It's Rev's Law, and I think he might be the one that's in the most trouble here. With the track drying the way it is, he's 1.1 seconds up, but all this time the track is definitely getting cleaner and cleaner. It also depends on how much grip he's got left in those intermediate tyres.
I think it's just all about for him right now. He's unfortunately played the game, and the game hasn't played him back too well. All you can do is just put the best lap in you can and hope that everyone else makes mistakes, and you can try and sort of keep himself towards the top of the field.
Yep, and we'll see the line he takes through Panasonic corner here. Does he try and cut it off? No, just apexes it. It's going to send him wide a little bit. That's going to compromise his speed on the straight. The Nissan GTR's no slouch on a straight line with that dirty twin turbo.
Let's see, comes across the line now, does a 46.5. Let's see, how good will that be? We've got Renegade and Snake Eye. Snake Eye's got a really good slipstream here. Let's see what time they both do.
This is quick. Oh, 46.6. Snake Eyes goes pole though.
46.1.
There's your time to chase, boys.
Next across the line, Dazza improves, but not enough. PD Pops to Brev, Laminate, all coming across.
Oh, it's that little battle pack there. Next car off the back. Next car to cross the line's Womble.
Let's see what Womble can do. I don't think it'll be an improvement. Oh, it will be. There you go. Up to P9 now.
Yep, and it'll be VF that's just behind him. See if we can get it on the board. No, it won't beat it. So, looks like Snake Eyes will take pole position. And we'll just cut over. Yeah, whew, what a quality. That was fantastic stuff.
God, the leaderboard was chopping and changing. It's what you want to see, especially in conditions like this. And, well, now we know what's going to start the race going to be like. words out there. Yeah, so now let's just see exactly who's going to be the best off the line in these tricky conditions. There's a possibility now that the boys know what the weather could be like. Will someone take a gamble on softs and just deal with it for the first couple of laps, knowing that they're going to be very quick once the track dries up?
I'll tell you from experience at Spa, and being the only person in the back that did it, it's very, very risky, and it requires a lot of patience and an awful lot of luck, but it can really turn your race around. And speaking of the race, we'll have a look at the quality results now with Snake Eyes taking pole with a 1 minute 46.143. Conditions and the slipstream really favouring him. Revs Law in P2 with a 46.5. Just behind him is Renegade, doing everything he needs to do at this point. Dazza in 4th. Keep your eyes on Dazza. He's going to be quick. PD Pops in 5th. That's a good return to form for PD Pops. You'd be really happy with that. Laminator in 6th. At one stage was on pole position. VF in 7th. Debrev in P8. Womble in 9th. Keza in 10th. And Benier just very unlucky trying that very risky strategy to go on the slick tyre and just, the pit exit, which is absolutely sick. So, I reckon, Muffin, when you're ready, if Carbon Boy hasn't painted the button orange yet, we should be good to go before he gets here.
I think it's about time we get moving now. The big red and white, or as Mr. CP will say, big CP blue button. It's dying to be pushed. I reckon let's get this race going.
Yeah, and it's not CP Blue Chase because we painted over that the moment the community series happened. It was actually painted red and black. So don't ask me why. I think Ghost got into the comms box once again. Anyway, we are going to go down to the track and get everything sorted from that ends. Oh, one Karen. Karen doing Karen things, ladies and gentlemen, just making a mess of the comms box as per usual. As we wait for the lights to go, you can hear the familiar tones of Gran Turismo. We are underway. Everybody seems to have got off the start very well. Benny has had an absolute launch off the line.
Yep. VF, unfortunately, very slow off a start there and is currently at the back of the field, but
wow.
Let's see what happens here.
Look at Dazza. Dazza's had a storming start. He's already up to first position.
Where did that come from?
What a start.
Beautiful work there. Leads the race now with Revs Law behind him.
He's wide though. He's wide going through Coca-Cola.
Yeah. He's got the inside line here for 130R. Sorry, no, 300, no, 100R. Getting my corners mixed up here, sorry. I was watching the Formula 1 earlier today. Revs Law can't get a move done. Dazzly goes very, very deep. Oh, and there we go.
That's going to give Revs Law the race lead there, and Snake Eyes will have something to argue with as they go through 300R. Dazza leaving no room, or very, very minimal room as he can. Breaking into Dunlop corner now. It's going to be tight. You can see
everyone there brakes carefully. Oh, we have a Constantina effect. All the cars back up to each other.
You can see PD Pop's just trying to be as cautious as possible. He doesn't want the omens of bad luck to strike him yet again.
Oh, Benia going for a move on Debrev there, straight up the inside.
My question is this, did Benia start on the Inter, or did he start on... No, he hasn't started on wet dry tyre, surely not.
We will find out when the APR Automotive Tyre and Fuel update commences.
That's a storming start though from Benia. He's up to P7 already after starting last, and he's got the eyes on Laminator down the straight.
Yeah, everyone here in slipstream range. Ooh, this is going to be very interesting down the T1. Very hard braking zone going very quickly into it. Hopefully everyone remembers to brake earlier in the wet.
And you can see the gap Benia's already created on Debrev. He's going to have a look though at Laminator. As PD Pops has a big look at the inside of Renegade there. That's on for P4. Laminator though, a little bit wide. He's just lost position to Benia though. Benia up to P6 as PD Pops seems to want to be pulling some punches a little bit early on.
Definitely, it's very much one of those cases of a track like this and the conditions like this. If you can get yourself further ahead in the early stages, make it easy for yourself on the later stages, you're going to go for it.
Yep, and in the foothills of Fuji, the winds, of course, are not overly strong at this point. A little bit of a breeze to the north. should help a little bit down the straights, but these guys, as VF is just trying to find his way through the field again after that really sluggish start on the back to Brev at the moment.
Yes, currently looking as well, going back to that wind direction. While it might be alright being low sort of speed, that's going to push him off the line through this whole last sector here. He's going to be doing understeering like crazy going through these corners.
You can see this concertina effect. Laminator went a little bit wide into Dunlop.
Oh, so he goes wide again.
Yep, which checked up to Brev, which checked up VF, and these three are sort of in between a rock and a hard place at this point as Brev is... He's definitely got more pace in that car. Laminator seems to be really struggling with the wet conditions. It looks like there's also some moves going on a bit up ahead. As Dazza in P2, he's got Snake Eyes all over the rear end.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that Porsche, very good aerodynamically, not good in a straight line. Snake Eyes, if he can get a good run, could go from moving to T1, but he's going to be very, very confident on the brakes. As he sets the purple lap, which is quickly eclipsed by Renegade, 52.0 race lap, that is quick.
You can see the turbos and the super work overtime there to keep the Porsche at bay. As soon as he pulled out of that slipstream, that was it. Yeah, bit of a struggle street moment for Snake Eyes there.
I think Snake Eyes at this point, the best thing he can do is try and force Dazza into a mistake or wait for him to make one himself and then go past there. Hopefully it will be not sort of in the middle of the track where the Porsche is stronger, because if it happens just for that main straight, any moves he'll make will be null and void by the end of it.
Yeah, and one big thing to keep our eyes on at the moment is the weather. It looks like it's just starting to ease up just a little bit in terms of the rain. And these guys at the back, the field is only split apart by 8 seconds, so it's anyone's game at this point.
100% it is, and the weather, yes, it's going up, going down, but definitely on the way down more than anything else. It's going to be the question of now, who's going to be the first one to blink and go for the soft tyre when that time comes?
Yeah, and as we saw with Benier in the pits as well, who's going to be the most cautious of all, because that pit lane is going to be absolutely wet. As Womble's had a good start up to P7 at this point of the race. Just needs to keep his head down. Hopefully he hasn't turned the TV on.
Yes, doing a very good job there in the black IPA RMR Supra.
So it looks like Snake Eyes is just content here to hang off the back of Dazza at this point of the race. Heading up to Panasonic, he sort of had a look at the outside line. He's going to have a look at the inside though as Dazza runs wide. Oh, a little bit of a bump, but all's fair in love and war. A drag race down the straight though. We know who's the quicker of the two cars down a straight line.
Yep, and now Renegade and P-Pop's on a piece of the action too. Revs Law is just checked out. He is gone.
Yep, 3.2 seconds to the good, and that's because Dazza's sort of been a cork in the bottle here for the rest of this field.
Yep, Dazza's gone back past Snake Eyes. Renegade could go for a move here as well, as he goes very, very deep on the brakes.
Very deep, and Petey Pops went with him as well. They've both, Renegade's made the move though into P3, and Petey Pops looks like he wants to entertain the thought of going to 4th.
Yep, after Snake Eyes got up into P2, is now back down P4. Oh, very unfortunate there from him, and now Benya behind them also catching up. This is becoming a bloody 10-car train for the second step on the podium.
This is insane racing at the moment. Look how close this field is. If you take out Brev at the moment, who's like the Max Verstappen of the field at this point, it's very, very tight. As these guys going through the hairpin at this point, you can see the dry line starting to form. As Renegade really wants to get on with this. He doesn't want to let his teammate get away. Drag race down to Dunlop corner. Can he pull it up? You can see how close the field is together as Dazza runs that little bit wide. Petey Pops also makes the move on Snake Eyes. Gets the job done. That is clean.
Well done there by Petey Pops. Great move there. As Renegade looks at the inside, but it can't make it stick there. Renegade, the best call for him right now is to wait for the big long main straight and make a move there.
Yeah, but the problem is, can the GTR run with the Supra in a straight line is the real question here. Petey Pops is munching time. So is the guy in P5 at the moment, or not P5, P6 at the moment. Benny, after starting 14th, has made his way to the podium pack. This is very good signs early on, lap 4.
And something we missed there as well. Renegade went for a move up the inside into the last corner, made a little bit of contact with Dazza, who got a little bit topsy-turvy, but then lost a spot to Petey Pops as well. Dazza's down P4, Petey Pops in P3, Renegade in P2. But I've got a feeling that Petey Pops could be a bit vulnerable there. Going into T1, goes semi-defensive here.
Oh,
No moves to be made. The Peapot's gone very deep. Very deep.
Very, very deep.
Oh.
Can he hold it up? Can he pull it up? No, he runs very wide. Oh, and he's
Oh,
gone!
he spun.
Oh,
He
no!
spun.
He was fighting for P3. That is so unfortunate.
That is a shame, unfortunately. Just trying to defend his position and missed his braking mark by a little bit. And yeah, once you get to that green AstroTurf, especially in the wet, grip just disappears from existence.
And maybe it was the line he was on too. It might have been a bit too wet at that point for the car to pull up. And it's just aquaplaned a little bit. It's Dazza sideways out of the hairpin. And this big battle here is now dropped down to 4 cars as Womble's not far behind these.
Yeah, and Womble's bringing out 3 cars with him, so essentially 2 4-car trains. Snake Eyes goes a little bit wide there, I believe. Benya X now through to P4.
So Benny is now on the charge as well, and that'll be alarm bells there for Renegade, who's been trying to make his way through the field. And he's just pulling. You can see Renegade, just that dry line is starting to come into effect, but not completely. Renegade just a little bit sideways at the moment. Snake Eyes doing a good job as well as Benny, just big moment of oversteer.
Yep, same with Laminate, had a big moment, but saved it. But he's got Dobrev right behind him now, less than half a second behind with Slipstream. I can sense here Dobrev might go for moving to T1, as looks to be VF. I thought he was coming to the pit lane there, but no, he's just coming to the wet line, trying to cool his tyres down.
Yep, that's smart. Try and make these tyres last as long as you can. And we'll go back to the replay, of course, that Petey pops it. That was big, just, late braked it. Just went wide. You can see the discs glowing red hot and just hits the AstroTurf. And once he does that, leads. It's big.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
I'm just noticing as well, Muff, the time screen on your side is starting to light purple, so the track is really starting to dry out.
It certainly is. I think the rain clouds have gone away, at least temporarily. I don't think it's going to be, well, he definitely could do soft tyres at this point, but it would be very much running on tram tracks. If you leave that dry line, the car's going to disappear from you and go straight to the show realm. Yeah,
but here's the question now. If you're a guy that's towards the back like Petey Pops or like Laminator or Dobrev, around that region, Kezar, for example, do you take the risk and just try and stick on the tram tracks knowing that the track will come to you as the tyre warms up? Because if you've got warm tyres and everyone else starts to pit around you, you're really going to start making hay while the sun shines.
I do think it's a good idea. Very much so, but it's just going to be the question of who is going to be the first one to say, I can live with that pit lane exit and get to the track cleanly.
Yep, as Renegade just runs that little bit wide, takes that very wet line. As these guys are going to be searching for more water to cool these tyres down at the moment.
Definitely. We've got currently 2 4-car groups more or less separating the field, with Peapots just off the back of that second 4-car group. He's making some decent gains at the moment. Best lap time is not too far off the current best of the race. In fact, he actually nearly beat it there. Did 46.8 compared to Benya's 46.6. So Petey Pops is not out of it yet.
Oh, VF's had a bit of a war with Dobrev. Dobrev just overcommitted, ran very wide, outbraked himself, and lives to fight another day as Dobrev now holding off that P8. VF tried in vain. He's in P9 at the moment. He's got Keza all over it, but the more this track dries out, the less that this track is going to help the Subaru.
Definitely there. That, like you know, man, that Subaru, it loves the wet weather, has grip for days when the track is wet. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just when the track gets dry, it's got a lot of aerodynamic grip, but so does every other car in the field, and you mix in the soft tyre compound, or just a dry tyre compound, I should say, and that sort of benefit becomes a bit null and void. And I'm sure you know already, the Subaru unfortunately does not like straight lines. Really does not like straight lines whatsoever.
No. It absolutely hates straight lines, hence why it likes the Great Ocean Road so much. It's one of those cars, I think, if you're someone in a car like Kezar, a car that's sort of underpowered and hasn't got the might of the Supra or the GTR, at this point it's worth taking a risk on just putting the softs on to try and nullify the damage. The car like Kazo has good aero, so it should be okay at this point, but ooh, you don't want to be making a mistake. You don't want to go out that wide either if you do decide to go on a wet tyre, dry tyre, sorry. As Rev's Law now 7 seconds to the good, and looks like out of all these guys, the only one really searching to cool the tyres down is Snake Eyes.
Interesting. Okay, maybe he's even having some problems with the tyres, trying to keep them cool and make sure they don't wear too much in these drying conditions. I wonder if possibly everyone else is trying to keep them hot and maybe, just maybe, look at going into the pits in the next few laps for dry tyres.
Yeah, and I think speaking of tyres right now, we might just have a look at the fuel and tyre strategy at the moment. I don't have the graphics, unfortunately. Got the old Sector 1 laptop because I'm still stuck in a taxi, but we'll drone across. Rev's Law, how's he doing?
Yes, currently the APR Automotive Fuel and Tyre Update brought to you by APR Automotive. Looking at Rev's Law currently, running the intermediate tyres, no surprise there. He's currently got a touch less than half a tank. His rear tyre is starting to get a bit of wear on them, but that's going to be the same for everyone as the track gets drier. Dazzly in P2, or Dazzler, I'll probably pronounce that wrong, not important. Bit less fuel than Rev's Law in front, not much difference. And tyre-wise, a bit more wear on the rears and then the front left as well, but once again, wet weather, drying weather with wet tyres is going to do that to your tyres. Renegade right behind him, he's got a good amount of fuel, still above half a tank. Tyre-wise, about the same as his teammate in front, so he's in a good spot here, Renegade. Benya X in P4, he has absolutely murdered his tyres. Oh my, he's going to have to go for dryers pretty soon, as he nearly has a spin. Oh, that was close, as Snake Eyes then goes to move up the inside, or the outside I should say. And fuel-wise, Benya has got a bit less than half a tank, probably about 45% fuel. Not looking too good there. Snake Eyes now on P4. He's currently got roughly the same amount of fuel as Dazza in front of him, but tyre-wise, he's looking pretty similar to Benya behind him. Really, that Porsche, that engine in the rear, just really cooking those rear tyres. As we see someone going to the pits, two people, Womble and VF, out there biting the bullet, they're going for it.
Yep, we caught Womble going into the pits real quick. Saw a car slowing down on the pit entry there, and now we might just get back on board with Womble and just see what happens on that exit, see how treacherous it is. You can see the brand new Michelin Pilot Sport Cups are on. And just putting fuel into that car at the moment is Womble. Let's see how this goes, because it is going to be soaking wet out there. And yeah, you can see it's still a bit wet out there. He's going to have to pull it up very, very quickly. Can he get it done? Can he get it stopped? Yes, he does. So he's the first of the dry runners. He's decided to take the risk.
Yep.
That dry line's really coming up now as well. So a couple of laps to really hone in those soft tyres. He should be okay, but we'll keep our eyes peeled on that one.
Yep. He's going for the undercut. It's going to be now the case of, can you keep it on the dry lines? Because right now he's going to be making leaps and bounds on the cars in front. Night and day difference in the pace, guarantee you right now, between the soft tyres and the inters.
And this is one of the big things for Womble in terms of his driving. A few people have said he just needs to find that consistency, find that rhythm, and just be patient. We know he's a very... Oh, we've got a yellow flag a bit further up, and it's Petey Pops again! Oh no, so he's had a big moment somewhere.
Yes, I do feel like going to jump back quickly now to the APR fuel and tyre update, and I can tell you exactly why he's going off the track. His rear left tyre is bald. It's essentially a rim at this point. It is completely gone. And that's probably why he's spun.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and Womble and the soft tyres right behind him. Oh, sorry. Womble actually has gone to the medium tyres.
Oh.
Very interesting.
That's whoa, in medium.
Yes, nice. Not Petey Pops. Womble has gone to the medium tyres, very interestingly. VF behind him has done the soft tyres, but very interesting there from Womble as Petey Pops spins in the pit lane. Oh,
no.
This could be interesting here. The game might not recognise that he made it to the pit lane, might send him back out on track. We'll have to see what happens here.
That is some horrid luck for Petey Pops.
He's let him in.
Rev's Law at the moment, 8 seconds to the good, so any undercut right now would probably really latch into Revs' lead, as it's actually under 8 seconds at this point.
Yep. I'll have to just wait and see what happens. We'll have to get a lap time comparison between Womble, VF, and Revs Law pending him boxing this lap to see what the pace difference is like. Current fastest lap at the moment is a 1:45.4 from Revs Law, but I think with the quality of his tyres, he won't be beating that anytime soon. But I've got a strange feeling that Womble or VF could do that, as Revs Law looks to come to the pit lane. Does he? Yes, he does.
Yep, and I think it is the crossover period at the moment. Womble 3/10 purple, and he's got Snake Eyes right behind him who has pitted.
Yep, Renegade has stayed out. Renegade is staying out.
Same with Dazza, so these guys running those tyres as long as they can.
Yep. A lot of them are. Laminae staying out. Oh my god, these tyres are going to die on these cars. They've got no tread left whatsoever.
We'll keep our eyes on Revs Law here at the Hooncorp pit bait. And he should come out with a bit of a gap. And it'll be interesting to see actually how much time he's lost compared to Womble and Snake Eyes. They're about 5 seconds or so behind him.
Yep. Looking at Womble now, coming down the main straight, about to cross the start-finish line. Let's see where he ends up. Sets purple lap, 1:43.4, 2 seconds faster than the previous best set by Revs Law. I think the undercuts work.
Yep.
Oh no, he's lost out to Revs Law, but everyone else he has jumped.
Yep. And you can definitely tell that Revs Law has lost time. That gap between him and Renegade was up to 8 seconds, and Womble was, another 5 or 6 seconds behind that. As Womble purple now by half a second, the track is definitely coming to him. Good strategy call. Good strategy call.
I think the current top three, I think, in Renegade, Dazza, and Laminae, I think they left it too long here. The undercut's going to absolutely murder these guys.
Yep. And what was it, a 1:43 by Womble?
Yeah, 1:43. Actually, it was I think it was a high 1:43, which is then being beaten by VF, also a 43, but must be a lower 43.
Yep, and compared to the last laps of Dazza and Renegade, look at the last lap for Dazza, 49.6. That is 6.4 seconds slower than the lap set by VF. So,
yeah.
Yep,
I think right now they're all going to be very smart come to the box.
Yeah, they've definitely left it way too long here. This is going to really hurt these three. As maybe it was just trying to run it as long as they could, but I don't think that 1 lap extra might help them later on in the race in terms of having a fresher tyre, but I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is why they're doing that is they may have been running to a particular number. Possibly they may run a bit longer now so they can save a pit stop later.
Yeah, those guys are going to get murdered. Renegade's only just putting fuel in at the moment. Womble's just setting purple laps for fun as Snake Eyes. Now VF gets purple, 1:40.9. And you can see how far these guys are falling behind. Renegade's actually fallen far behind these guys. And I think he knows it too. He's come out, hasn't fulfilled, but he has dropped well and truly behind VF. And VF was, I believe, sitting at P9 before all of the pit action. So VF has made a massive gain.
Yep, no, definitely Womble and VF are the biggest winners here, sitting P2 and P4 now. They've just made the best call possible. They've judged the conditions to perfection, and now the sun's out. Revs Law, he had the advantage of track position after setting a really good first stint there. But yeah, that gap has half between him and the next car behind. So you do think that Revs could have gone earlier, but I understand why he didn't need to. He had a gap. He could play better the conditions and just try and see what lap times the guys are doing behind him, and then go from there.
My real question now is this: is Snake Eyes and VF, are they on the softs or are they going to the medium as well?
Yes, well, going back to the APR Automotive Fuel and Tyre update, taking a drink every time I say that now. Revs Law currently still your leader. He's gone to the soft tyres, which in my opinion is the preferred tyre at this point in time, but there might be something I don't know. I'm not an expert, I just race cars that aren't real. And yeah, like I said, brimmed the tank more or less when he came to the pits. Looking pretty good to go for a little while. Womble behind him, he has got a lot less fuel, looking close towards possibly around the 2/3 of the tank mark on the mediums, as we previously mentioned. Currently under attack from Snake Eyes and VF behind him. Let's just see what happens here going in T1. Everyone stays line astern, no one goes for any risky moves. That's what I love to see. Now Snake Eyes behind Womble on the soft tyres, he's going to be absolutely chomping time. out of Womble, currently running about the same fuel as Womble in front. Actually, no, sorry, not the same fuel. He's running a bit more. Above 3/4 of a tank, he is running. And a VF behind him, also on soft tyres, touch less fuel than Snake Eyes, but I'd say he's on a similar strategy to Snake Eyes in front of him. Womble, I feel at this point in time, is a bit out of sequence with his fuel number, but he might have a plan in place to get himself back up there. Renegade, one of the people who stayed out as long as possible in the Inter, is currently gone to the soft tyre. He's fueled up to roughly the same spot that his teammate in Revs Law did, but now 10 seconds off the back, he's got a lot of work to do to catch back up. Benia, P6, he's gone to the soft tyres, looking just above 3/4 of a tank, right on the arse end of Renegade. And I think down this main straight, wouldn't be surprised if there's a move here for P5 on the track. Dazza, P7 now, he's also gone to the soft tyres, looking around the 80% fuel mark, 85% possibly. He's looking pretty good. Lap time's looking alright, and I think he might start making grounds on the cars in front of him once he gets his rhythm in there. Debrev in P8 now, roughly the same fuel as Dazza in front, running the soft tyres. I think the soft tyre might have been the best option here. I think most of these cars here will be doing one more stop, I feel, before this race is over. They could try and stretch it out to the end, but they're going to have to really save fuel and tyres to do so. Laminator P9, same fuel as the two cars in front of him, more or less, running the soft tyres. Nothing much more to say. Tyres look good as he sets his own personal best lap of the race of a 1:41.9. Keza P10, he's got a bit less than 3/4 of a tank, running the soft tyres as well. I think very much he's going to be pushing as hard as he can. He might go for a second pit stop here, I feel, the way he's driving. And P-Pops and P11 run the soft tyres, touch above 3/4 of a tank of fuel. Just unfortunately hasn't been his day today, but I reckon he might just go for the no stop for the rest of the race, just to try and see how many positions he can gain from other people using the pit lane.
And that was the APR Performance fuel and tyre update, Bird, brought to you by Captain Muffin. APR Performance, we're in your hands. Now, I think I got that. Oh, no, you're in our hands. That's it. That's the one. Anyway, don't tell them Karen sent you, by the way. Keeping tabs on Petey Pops, unfortunately, had that big incident to start thing about a quarter of the way through the race. It's, just really unfortunate. He's had such bad luck this season, and he's still got the best looking car on the grid, I still say. Those doghouse cars are fantastic as we go back towards Revs Law now, 4.7 seconds to the good over Snake Eyes. We saw a little bit of that Snake Eyes Womble VF battle. We saw Womble after the Dunlop corner go a little bit wide. Lost position to Snake Eyes, but gained to VF.
I'm also getting some word from some of the TOs in the pit lane here that they feel that a lot of people who boxed earlier on, such as your VFs, your Wombles, even your Snake Eyes and whatnot, they will have to box once more. They will not make it to the end on fuel unless they want to drive at a Sunday drive grandma sort of pace. So those who left it late, such as your Renegades, your Laminators, and your Dazza, I believe it was, don't quote me on that, they will possibly have a better time making it to the end on a no-stop possibly. It'll be a challenge, but it won't be impossible.
Yeah, and keeping tabs on Renegade and Benny at the moment, they've got a little bit of ground to make up on. The late pit stop from Renegade and Dazza and Laminator might actually help them in the long run in terms of the tyre life.
Yep, I should say I wasn't thinking of Dazza, I was thinking of VF. I'm not sure if I said him, but not important yet. Just looking at the field, looking at the different sort of varying fuel loads currently, I think second, third, fourth, and possibly sixth we'll have to find the pit. We'll have to go to the pit lane once again, but we'll wait and see what happens there.
Yep, looks like this Hoon Court respawn battle is going to keep going on in the form of Renegade and Benier. Benier definitely looks like the quicker car at this point. He's got a lot of grip. Track definitely starting to really warm up and rubber in. It's still going to be a little while before they hit their top speeds though.
Yeah, I think the track itself, unless you go offline, seems to be pretty dry. But the wind itself is going in a very less than ideal direction, for lack of better terminology. Pushing them sort of up the hill and across the main straight. Really, you want a tailwind going down that main straight. It does make T1 a bit scary, but my god, do you carry so much speed through that straight, and it makes so much difference to your lap time.
It's been a good job by Womble so far to be sitting P3 at this point of the race. He's a big job to keep pushing on the way he is.
Yeah, still a bit confused by that medium tyre call, but maybe he's planning on going a bit longer than the cars around him, and then sort of doing a shorter pit stop possibly when his next pit stop comes around.
Yeah, so I think we just had a moment in terms of the stream itself. It's just gone a little bit and then come back to us.
Oh,
So
as Womble's had a moment and lost a spot to VF now.
Ooh.
He hasn't lost too much time, but he's lost a position from it.
Ooh. So just caught that one. I think we were on board when we saw that. Just had a little bit of a moment with the stream. We do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit of turbulent air going through, going on the Shinkansen at the moment. Streaming to you as quick as I can to get to Fuji Speedway.
And currently as well behind Womble, Renegade looking to get some benefit from Womble's mistake.
Oh,
Unfortunately, has a half-second penalty.
No, he's got a half-second penalty indeed, and that's going to drop him further into the clutches. Benny, as Womble looks like he's coming to pit. So he's had the medium. Oh, he's had the medium tyre. I wonder if Renegade's going to get a. Will Renegade get a penalty there because he crossed the blend? No, surely not. As
I'd say you're not going to get a penalty unless you go to the pits for crossing the blend line. If you're still on the actual racing track and don't go to the pits, you can cross as much as you like.
This will be very, very intriguing to see Womble come out on a soft tyre. I assume he will come out in the softs and wait and see what the others do. Whether or not, I think the likes of Renegade and Dazza, they will not have to pit again. Laminator as well, filled up to the end. But there's a few of these early pitters. They might just be in a little spot of bother.
Yeah, very, very unique strategy from Womble there, going from the medium to the soft tyre. He's put enough fuel in the tank to bring it home. Maybe he's just focusing on versing those people that are around him, because all those people now that are going to be sort of short shifting to the end, he probably won't catch them. However, he's got fresh soft tyres. I can see him going for the fastest lap here.
Yeah, and that'll still give him some points as well. As Debrev in P7 at the moment has got a little bit of problem in form of Laminator. And Debrev probably wanted to be a little bit higher than where he actually is right now.
Definitely would like to be, but I think unfortunately the race conditions just haven't fallen his way, unfortunately. But that's all good. He's still driving well. Top 7 finishes, nothing to scoff at. But Laminator is definitely pressuring him. Ooh, this could be very interesting coming to the last corner here.
Oh, on board the Lightning Motorsports Supra for Merlin Garage Doors, and it looks like Laminator might be thinking of the move.
Oh, Debrev goes a bit wide.
Yeah, Laminator took that tight line. It's going to be a drag race, and when it comes to drag races here, it will be advantage Toyota.
Yeah, unfortunately McLaren, while it is stable, it is a bit slow in the straight lines, comparatively speaking. However, Debrev could fly across, get the slipstream now and go for a return serve, but stays on the racing line instead. Doesn't listen to the commentator. It's a very good call, mate. We talk a bit of poo-poo sometimes.
And to quote one Ghost, the golden Mike, of course, of Sector 1, that Supra is an absolute rocket ship in a straight line. As we'll jump back a little bit forward on the pack, and VF now up to P3 with Womble pitting. I don't know.
Also, I've just seen as well, Benya has gone past Renegade. I didn't see that happen. That must have happened recently.
Yeah, I dare say that was a classic turn 1 move. Just very, very comfortable behind the wheel as Benio this race, especially in that that fantastic start he had. Did a great job. Currently as well on the stream, we're up to 13 likes, so please make sure you do smash that like button. We are definitely enjoying some fantastic racing tonight. And make sure if you haven't subscribed, please do smash the notification bell so you don't miss any of the action. We've got 2 more rounds, and of course our absolute favourite night of the season, which is the Sector 1 Awards. Looking very much forward to that, but at the moment our focus is on the Benia Renegade battle. Renegade really needs to pass Benia here to get points, and I just don't know if Renegade can actually get it done.
I think, unfortunately, Renegade needs to get like a really solid launch out of the last corner, have momentum behind him before the main straight begins, and use the slipstream as like a combination type thing to try and get past. But on this occasion, he looks to the inside, puts the nose there. Oh, he's gone for it.
He definitely sent it. Great awareness by Benny to see him coming, and great commitment there by Renegade to get it done. Great driving from those two.
Yeah, just looking as well up and down the pit lane here, so we're looking at the various sort of teams' strategy options. Of course, try and keep it as secret as they can. But just looking through the field here, looking up and down, I've got a feeling there could be a couple more cars still to pit. Looking at the fuel loads and tyre loads, I think the first one that still will have to pit will be VF, possibly. Fuel will be hit and miss, I feel, but tyres are going to be the biggest thing. His front tyres aren't looking that pretty, and he could lose a fair bit of time once they go off.
Yep, so going back to the Womble battle right now, and I don't think that pit stop worked well for him. He's got 5 laps to try and make some inroads, and he's 20 seconds off the back of Dobrev, so he might still net 1 or 2 positions from the guys that do pit, but
Yep.
I hope he genuinely didn't need it. I really hope he didn't need to pit again.
Oh, as he got Keza as well, just went for pit stop himself and cut the pit lines. He's got a 3-second penalty.
Oh, Laminator's run wide. Just ran wide into the next corner there, and yeah, just did not really have the grip. And he's also got a half-second penalty. So, despite the fact he finally got past Dobrev, he's just gonna have to give it all back again.
It's okay though. Once he gets this lap done, he should be able to do a rinse and repeat into T1 once again. Not going to be close enough this time around, but definitely next lap. If Laminator can just put in a nice, clean, consistent lap, he will be there.
Yep. Looking at that time as well with VF, you were talking about his tyres, and I think you may be right, because that gap between VF and Renegade is dropping. Jump on board now with the Hooncorp Esports Nissan R33 GTR. Wait, R33, that's about 15, 20 years too early.
Yes, I was thinking that. Looking at the R35 GTR.
Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We've had an absolutely fantastic week here in Japan, and had some incredible racing as VF has just got absolutely nothing to give, and Renegade does make the pass. VF just tries to pull up as late as he can into Dunlop corner. I don't think he's going to get it done though, and now he's at the mercy of Benier.
I think Benny will be smart about this, knowing that the car in front is slower. I think he might just bide his time, wait to the main straight and make a move there.
Yeah, but does he want to make a move earlier than that? Because he doesn't want to get held up losing time to Renegade, who's catching hand over fist into Snake Eyes at this point.
I think he's going to be close enough. I think as well, he could use VF to act like a bit of a slingshot for him. Use the slipstream to pull him up towards Renegade, go out from the slipstream, get past, dive back into Renegade's slipstream and carry on. But as I say that, VF decided to go to the pit lane and negated what I just said.
we keep putting the commentator's curse on these guys. They keep surprising us every single time. So
yep.
Ooh.
I could almost swear they're all listening in saying, yep, the commentator's saying that, let's do the opposite.
Yep. Just don't listen to us, guys. Just that's the top tip for strategy. Don't listen to the commentators because we never get it right. Anyway, Dobrev up to 6 now with the VF pitting. Still got Laminator behind him, but it'll be interesting to see if VF has the gap to Womble covered. Womble did
just want to say as well, you can almost swear we're in Melbourne with weather like this. Started off absolutely raining, absolute wetness, and now the sun's out. It's bright, sunny. Almost want to take my jumper off now.
I wonder if Womble actually had a bit of a moment though, because he's 12 seconds behind VF, and he was actually in front on that pit stop. So did VF really?
Looking at the times here, I've got a feeling that a few laps ago, Womble may have had a slight error. Unfortunately, they had 2-minute 1 lap time on lap 17. I'm not too sure what that could have been. Maybe unless that was his pit and my timing screens are just playing up, but I'm not too sure. That's the only sort of anomaly I can see in his timing sheet.
Yep, and keeping tabs right now on Snake Eyes and P2 at the moment. Renegade is starting to range up onto the back of the ICE Esports Porsche.
Look at the cars as well. It's very much a tale of two woes between Renegade and Snake Eyes. Both of them, I feel, got enough fuel to make it to the end. However, tyres-wise, Renegade is chewing that front left, while Snake Eyes is chewing that rear left. It's going to be which car do you want to be in? The one that doesn't turn, the one that turns too much.
Now, I think that gap's starting to get under a second now. As Snake Eyes starting to become a little bit under threat from Renegade, who's put in a fantastic job so far.
Yeah, and if these guys here fight too hard, Benny is right there to snag up any leftovers that may be made available to him. Daz are currently P5, 6.3 seconds behind. You'd say he's out of it, however, if these three fight hard enough, anything's possible.
Yeah, agreed, and we've seen it happen before where drivers have made big errors and big mistakes and cost themselves very, very dear at wins even. And championships have been decided in those sort of circumstances. So if it's especially important that someone like Renegade or Benier, they don't come together, because if they do and they fall well down, it's basically game over in terms of the championship. Revs Law will just waltz away with it. I dare say it would be permanent in that regard.
By 100% you're right there, Karen. But the race is never yet. Just wait and see what happens, commentating what we see here. I'm just looking ahead now, as it looks like P-Pops has got ahead of Keza after a 3-second penalty was served, as they're both about to get lapped by Revs Law, unfortunately.
Yeah, the pace of Revs has been extremely impressive this season, to say the least. He's really stepped his claim on this championship. He had a bit of a struggle at Willow Springs as he dives into the inside of Keza. Make sure he gets it done cleanly. Does. So it'll be intriguing to see what happens to him next season, whether he goes up to Division 3 or if he pushes into Division 2 maybe. Be very, very intriguing to say the least, to see where he is at.
I'll have to just wait and see. Also, looking at the battle for P2 and 3, I think I'm seeing something here where Snake Eye seems to lose out a bit on the main straight and through the most of the first and second sector, but through that third sector, the Nissan just really seems to understeer, and the gap was around the 0.8 of a second range at the start of the lap, and just as it was ending, it went up above a second. So I got a feeling that a Renegade might be having a bit of trouble there with turning in that car.
Yeah, you can see his last lap was a 1 minute 40.7. It was a 1 minute 40.4 for the i3 Sports Porsche. Definitely that gap starting to just range out a little bit, as Benny has 3.2 seconds behind these two, and Daz are definitely starting to close in. And just looking a little bit further back at the moment to Brev and Laminator, still continuing their fantastic battle. That's been going for a while. When one gets a penalty, the other one gets ahead, and then it switches back around again.
The World Championship for P6 is like one of the best things you can watch in the world.
Womble in P9 at the moment. I think maybe not pitting was the right answer in that regard. He was net second too, actually, on pace, as you look at the foothills of Fuji there. Absolutely glorious mountain range around here. PD Pops in P10. He's just had an absolute struggle of a night. Looked very, very strong early on, and then it's just fallen apart since.
It's something else as well. This race is going that quickly. I've just realised we've actually on the last lap at this point. That race is just absolutely flying by. Yeah, time flies and you're having fun.
Yeah, that went quick. Revs Law at the moment, 12 seconds to the good. Just keep this one last glance at Snake Eyes and Renegade, and I think Renegade's going to throw the kitchen sink at this. Snake Eyes runs just that little bit wide. It's down to half a second. Renegade is pushing.
Yeah, I think at this point, I'd say right now it's advantage Renegade. Snake Eyes, while he does have pretty good front tyres, his rear left looking very sorry. He's going to be very careful with his rotations as well as his throttle input, because if he goes too aggressive with any of those, the car's just going to want to spin on him.
Oh, as you can see under braking, Renegade, it's just so strong. But we better not look at Renegade. We better look at his teammate. Coming into Fuji Speedway, Revs Law looked like the man to beat. And so it has turned out. He's absolutely plastered this race. Made it his own. 12.5 seconds ahead, and he has got one hand and 4 fingers on this Division 4 championship. He will cross the line to take the win now by 12 seconds. Revs Law takes it out at Fuji.
As we got crossing line behind him, P10, P-Pops, P11, Keza have a nice battle to the line. And as you see here, Snake Eyes managed to get the job done. P2 in the end in the Porsche Raceway Esports. Renegade P3 with his teammate sharing the podium there. Benny a P4 with a solid drive once again. Dazza in P5 as they got a nice behind them actually a three-way battle for P6. It's going to be a drag to the race between these three, Dobrev, Laminate and VF. Let's see who gets the best of it here.
Oh, this is going to be
very
close.
tight.
This is going to be
This
close.
is very tight.
Has the Supra got enough power? No, it doesn't. Dobrev takes 6, Laminator 7, VF in P8, and Womble will come across the line into P9. But a massive congratulations does go to Revs Law. He's looking very, very strong in this championship now, and I don't think he's going to be beaten at all.
I think it's very much the case of he's going to be moving up a division or two next season. That's almost guaranteed, I feel.
Agreed. I think he's going to be a very, very hot property for a couple of these teams that do want a strong Division 3 driver. So Hooncorp might have their hands full from other teams. Team owners, I think, will be getting the pens out, making sure they're writing notes down because... tell you what, there's a lot of drivers this season that have come in and debuted and are going to be very, very hot property for next season. We better go and have a look at our race results, of course. Go across now. Revs Law taking the win by 12.5 seconds over Snake Eyes in P2. Renegade in 3rd position. Benier in 4th. Dazza P5. Dobrev in P6. Lambinator in P7. VF in 8th. Womble in 9th. PD Pops, unfortunately, with that big spin early on, just couldn't recover in 10th. Keza, just the pace of the Subaru, just not really there in 11th. And the fastest lap, of course, does go to VF with a 1 minute 39.645. That is a Division 4 at Fuji, runner and done.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, now's probably a good time if you aren't you. Chucking your Driver in the Day nominations. Driver of the Day. Wow, I cannot speak. I'm a shocker tonight. Yeah, feel free to chuck them in the chat there. Karen, what's your feeling tonight? Who do you think has been the Driver of the Day in your eyes?
Honestly, there's been some good runs tonight. I think the way he started and then fought back, I think I will give my Driver of the Day to Benier from Respawn Esports. He did an incredible job. Wow. Well, yeah, has to go to, from my end for Benier, or is just checking through the chat at the moment. Snake Eyes Driver of the Day from Bumcrack. Tube, NV and Z has said, great race, guys. Well done, Revs and Snake Eyes. Bogzilla, well done, Revs, Snake and Renegade. Nismo Nave says, great work, guys. Levenspiel says, well done, Snake and Revs. CJK, well done, Revs as well. Womble said, my goggles crashed on lap 16. I ripped them off, but then it felt like I was driving drunk till the end of the race. Oh. I think he might have to put the windscreen back in for the next race, Womble. I think Muffin, it's Benier for me. What about you?
For me personally, I'm leaning towards Renegade with this one. After doing a bit of an alternate strat and staying out as long as you can on those aging intermediate tyres on a dry track, to then fall behind the cars I boxed earlier and fight his way back to P3, I just thought was a very great drive. All
right, and I think the next round we've got at Suzuka. At the moment, we can't go there because Formula 1 is on today. The track is being cleaned up as we speak, so no one from Sector 1 is allowed in until Tuesday. Anyway, I think we might start looking into Division 2, so thank you very much, Muffin, for joining me in the box tonight for Division 4. I do believe you'll be staying for the next race, as far as I'm aware.
Yep, I'll be heading down to the pit lane, mate. Talking a bit of cheek with the TOs there, as well as getting as much info as I can, and I'll be your eyes on the ground while you guys are up in the nice, warm, dry com box.
Yep, so just make sure you've got your 2-2 on this time, mate, and hopefully we'll see you soon. But we'll stay tuned, guys. We have action from Division 2, and a little birdie tells me that the weather might still not be... might not be wet, so let's wait and see. But of course, that'll come in about 5 minutes' time. So stick around, guys. Take a break, grab a cold one, and yeah, get ready for Division 2 coming up next. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are basically filled up, ready to go for Division 2 action back at Fuji Speedway. A few of the guys just getting out of the cars, a few team debriefs, and up here at the comms box, new fridge full of beers and a new guest with me, of course. It is the one, the only, the dulcet, beautiful, delectable tones of Luke, a.k.a. Carbon Boy, who smells like fresh cookies. How are you, Luke?
I'm doing relatively well, all things considered. How's yourself, Karen?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Just keeping tabs at the moment on the weather and whether or not you made me any cookies. I'm really liking the idea of those cookies. They sound pretty...
Have I made cookies? Yes. Have I made you any? Debatable.
Oh. All right. Anyway, we might just have a look at the Division 2 points. And as you can see, the championship at the leader at the moment is Lenosis, of course. 10 points ahead of Lunacy, who's making a big resurgence in this championship battle. He's taken out the endurance race at Spa and then at Road Atlanta, really stamped his authority on this event and looking very much in the championship fight. Evil Evo in P3 and the little alpha that could for Doghouse. Old Wakey, as ever, very, very consistent in 4th. Stickers in 5th. Starting to find that little bit of pace after that little mid-season dip in form. DP Mario in P6. He's doing a good job for Black Rose Racing. CGK in P7 for Icer Esports. Dadson in P8. He's still apparently digging for the Division 1 prospect title at the moment. We're going to wait and see on how he goes. Then there's myself in P9, not racing tonight because I am streaming. Race Fan in P10, who is starting to make a very, very serious comeback. He's been out for a few rounds, but the rounds he's been at, oh boy, he is a wild card and a half. Of course, S1 Maverick, a.k.a. Cruisin', a.k.a. The Goose, in 11th for Blacklight. Pat Star in P12. PLE back Friday in 13th. And Tim Durags in 14th. Now, a little bit of housekeeping for tonight's event. We understand that Pat Star and I believe myself are out. Pat Star has got some real life things going on for this round. And
Sorry to correct you there, Karen.
Oh.
Pat Star is actually present and accounted for.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not sure what has happened, but he is here. He has been present for all of the test starts tonight.
Oh, wow. Was he on holiday here or what?
I'm not sure exactly, but I did hear through the grapevine that there might be a late presentation by Lenosis, but so far we have yet to see him here in the pit lane.
Yeah, and as from one championship competitor in Div 2 to another, I hope he actually gets in and gets involved. So we'll wait and see. But for now, I think we are going to be down in qualifying. So can you just press that hastily painted orange button for me if that's okay?
Yes, I've gotten the mineral terps out and I've scrubbed that interesting CP blue off the button and got the paint pen out, quick dry, and it's now bright orange once again.
Well, I'll accept it because there's a deeds in my fridge right here by the comms box, which is absolutely orange as well. As the
I may or may not have scribbled Great Northern on the side in permanent Sharpie.
Oh, no. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are go for qualifying Division 2 Fuji Speedway. And boy, oh boy, has the weather turned. And our commentator from Division 4, Captain Muffin, is down in the pit lane. Can you get us in touch with us, Muff?
Yep, I'm here and I'm shivering. My lord, it is cold down here in this wet weather. Cars are exiting out on a very diverse range of tyres, somewhere in the inches, somewhere in the wet tyres. Going to be very interesting to see exactly which tyre is faster, but yeah, right now I'm looking to find cover under any pit bay I can because my lord, it is cold, it is wet out here.
That's all right, mate. Grab your bowl of miso soup and strap in. Get those hands warm because we are go for qualifying. Old Wakey leading the charge in these wet conditions, and ever the consistent driver he is, he will be looking for a very strong result tonight. He's been the spearhead for Kraken Esports in Division 2 as Evil Evo in the Alfa Romeo for Doghouse, and he has been an absolute shining light this season. He's been able to... Oh, no, Wakey's gone already! Oh, he's dropped out. There he is. That is a real shame. So, Old Wakey's had a big moment in qualifying. We'll go back.
That's all right, just the outlap. He'll pull himself back from this. He's done the right thing. He's paid attention to the track map and kept an eye out for oncoming cars, so no problem at all there from the rejoin.
And we got Dadson for Bacchus Brewing's Dadson Racing, team owner, of course. And he had a little bit of a great result last time out. He finished in the top 5, and that really motivated him. Although he has said he point blank hates wet weather, does not want a bar of water, and does not like the food in Japan because he does not like seafood. We got Pat Starr in P3, who earlier in the week I was told was a scratching for this event, but he has made it to the track in the second of the Doghouse Alphas. PLE Black Friday for Green Beacon Red Mist Racing, and Black Friday, he's adjusted life pretty well in Sector 1. Of course, last time at Road Atlanta had a little bit of contact, unfortunately, caused by myself. I do apologise for that Black Friday. I've apologised profusely, and he still won't talk to me. DP Mario for Black Rose Racing in the Nissan GTR, and Mario, make no bounds about it, his pace is right there. He's got raw pace to burn, but it's just those other things he's got to work on. Consistency, tyre life, tyre management. He's getting the hang of it, though, very quick, so he'll be one to watch tonight. Tim Durags for ISA Esports in the ISA Porsche. Arguably the best looking car on the grid with those black rims, and he has also shown some glimpses of very strong pace here in Sector 1. His teammate CGK in the second of the ISA Esports Porsches, and CGK also having a little bit of a career resurgence after a couple of rounds that were just a little bit of a struggle. Bounced back very well. Keep your eyes peeled as Old Wakey is now back down into 8th position. Albeit just
a little fun fact for the viewers at home tonight, and for yourself. Out of the 10 drivers we currently have on track, 3 of them are being extremely brave, in my opinion, and are not running traction control. Ooh. The other 7 drivers are.
Yep, and that'll come down to patience and comfort in that regard, as keeping tabs on stickers at the moment, the team owner of Lightning Motorsport, and he had such a strong start, and it's just fallen away from him a little bit towards this middle of the season, but we'll have to keep our eyes peeled to see where he's at. And the last car in the field at the moment, to Lunacy, the prime championship contender to Lenosis, and make no bones about it, to Lunacy, the boy's quick, and he's been able to make a lot of inroads the last couple of rounds with a couple of big wins as Evil Evo crosses the line, sets the first lap with a 58.5. It's full second. Ooh, here you go, sorry.
Ooh, he has had a bit of a moment at turn 1. That the breaking point for turn 1 on the second flying lap has caused a few dramas for the drivers, as I've seen tonight in their practice sessions before qualifying. But I do expect that 58.5 to come down into the high 57s, because I have seen multiple drivers in that area during the practice session tonight.
High 57s, you say. Lunacy's just absolutely obliterated that prediction with a 1 minute 57.175. That is...
Right.
Oh, yuck.
you see, I say things and then drivers go out and prove me wrong. So I'm perfectly okay with that. And it is interesting to note that the Lunacy is one of those 3 drivers who is not running traction control.
Yeah, you saw it a little bit earlier on through the third sector there, where the car was not on rails, and he's still able to get the absolute most out of it. It's absolutely crazy what he's been able to do there. You can hear the throttle. He's really feathering it, sliding it sideways through 100R up to the hairpin. Sliding looks good, especially in the wet, but it's not faster. So, although he's just proved us all wrong. We'll just jump up the field a little bit as we'll see how Dadson's going at the moment. So he's the second car in this little train. Jump on board now with the Bacchus Brewing AMG Mercedes, and you can hear him just really not trying to make the most of the throttle there. Just a little bit of the wheel spin. What's he got as he comes across the line? He's definitely looking to improve. Evil Evo improves with the 1 minute 58.1. Dadson jumps to third with a 58.7. That's a good lap.
But here comes Tim Durags down the main straight. Oh, I don't think he's going to improve this lap. He's had a bit of a mare. 159 flat.
DP Mario up to third now. So the GDR starting to hum and sing a little bit. 1.4 seconds behind that lap of Lunacy, though. That is just an incredible lap in terms of pace. He's just absolutely brained this field by nearly a full second. He's had a bit of a nightmare this lap. With weather this wet as well, I don't think anyone's going to be pitting in this qualifying session. So probably see maybe 2 more laps out of these guys. There's Pat Starr in P10 at the moment. And he's not really felt comfortable in that Alfa Romeo from the get-go. Although he has enjoyed racing in it. It's been a bit of a learning curve for the Doghouse boys. We were talking with team leader The Stranger a couple of weeks ago, and he said it's been an absolutely fantastic learning curve, and they've had a lot of fun learning this car together. Looking very much forward to next season, though, as we do start to wind down a little bit with 2 more rounds to go. Pat Starr's up on his best lap at the moment.
Another fun fact for the viewers at home, out of the 10 drivers on track, 3 of them are on the full wets, the other 7 are running the intermediate compound.
Ooh, I wonder who's on the wets at the moment, because it might start, I don't know, it might start to dry off down the track. We'll keep our eyes peeled, but Evil Evo at the moment, he's just had a
I
little...
won't tell you exactly who, but there is one of those wet tyre runners in the top 3 at the moment.
I dare say it might be DP Mario, but that's just my prediction.
I'm not saying a word.
As Evil Evo doesn't improve now, he's got probably, yeah, I'd say 1 more lap. A few of these guys now are starting to cross over, get their flyers in. Tim Durags goes to P2. 1 minute 57.8, still 7/10 of a second behind Lunacy, though. It's a lot of time to find.
The Lunacy just coming onto the main straight now. Can he improve on his already, what I consider to be slightly mental qualifying time? I think he's going to.
Oh no, surely
go.
not. 56.5, that is disgustingly quick. 1.3 seconds clear of the next car, and he's still got this lap to go. As
oh boy.
The
rest of the field should be a little bit intimidated right now.
The big surprise for mine is Old Wakey at the moment, P9. Instead of 1 minute 59.2 is his fastest flyer, and that was actually 3 laps ago.
Just to say as well, guys, down the pit lane here, we just had a car teleport back in DP Mario. Unfortunately, not using the pit lane entrance as he should. And also as well, look at the track map. Currently got a car that's spun on the 300R that appears to be CGK, Crazy Good Kung Fu, has spun it on the way down the hill.
Yep, just caught that late on as whoa, Stickers has a big moment. Just got a little bit wide onto the grass there, and you don't want to be getting into the grass, especially with, oh, there's Pat Starr as well. Pat Starr's had a big moment as well. Oh, that might just distract Old Wakey. Doesn't need any of that at the moment.
Here comes Evil Evo down the main straight. Can he improve on his fastest?
No.
Unfortunately not. 600ths off, but a 58.1, putting him into provisional P3 at the moment. That is certainly nothing to be sneezed at.
Black Friday goes across the line with a 1 minute 59.5, so he's not been able to make any inroads whatsoever in this wet weather. Tim Durags doesn't go any faster. I think there's only a couple more runners left now. Stickers is on a run, but he's not going to improve. As someone down in the background there's had a big moment. That's Pat Starr.
Oh, there you go. Old Wakey puts himself into P5 on the final lap. I was just about to say, you were quite right in Old Wakey being the big surprise, being so far down the order, but he's come through and managed to put himself in P5 with a clutch lap in the dying moments of qualifying.
And that will be qualifying run and done as Pat Starr crosses the line. So a great job by our field. I think we're just waiting on one car to vacate the pits, which would be DP Mario. I think Don't know how he's teleported across.
Unfortunately, with that quit to pit there, that does make us wait out the full extent of the lobby timer.
Ooh. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is qualifying run and done. As we just wait for the qualifying timer to run out, it is going to be, well, an absolute slobber knocker. And just looking through the chat at the moment, chat's been flying tonight. It's been fantastic. So make sure you like the stream, guys. Get involved. 21 likes on the stream so far too, as well. That is huge. So. Looking through at the moment, Petey Pops likes to go Doghouse. The Good Doctor. Can every race be in torrential rain? Free pace for Ferrari. That is a good call, actually. It does help the Subaru as well. Snake Eyes has said, well done, Tim Durags. Yeah, I think Tim did a fantastic job there. As we will just go quickly over to the qualifying results. Now is to Lunacy. 1.3 seconds clear. That is not a typo, ladies and gentlemen. That is fact, as he takes pole by one of the biggest margins we've probably ever seen in Sector 1 history, not counting the 2-hour Le Mans event we had a couple of seasons ago. Tim Durags in P2, Evil Evo snatching third position. Great result for the Doghouse Motorsports driver, of course. DP Mario there in P4. Question marks over that pit the pit teleportation there. Old Wakey will be in 5th. Dadson in P6. Stickers in 7th. Pat Start in P8. CGK P9. Black Friday in P10. And, of course, we are missing Race Fan, Lenocious, and myself. So, that is qualifying run and done in Division 2. Whew. Guys in chat, make your picks on that one. Your top threes. And who's going to be your Smokey for the win? Because if Tolunacy has a big moment in the weather, which I don't think he will, who's going to be the one that really takes the bull by the horns? Because, yeah, that was an incredible qualifying.
I'm going to put my prediction in nice and early. I'm not naming names, but the podium will be mid-engine rear drive cars.
Oh, and Muffin, you're down in the pit lane at the moment. Is there any scratching of heads going along down the pit lane, of course, with Tolunacy's pace? Anyone claiming parity or anything like that?
No, as of yet, no. And everyone that usually starts to seem to do so, do also throw the argument about the Supra and the dry being so powerful, so they sort of get shut down pretty quickly. But currently, I'm in a similar boat to Carbon Boy with the top three. However, I feel that it's only going to be one, possibly two MRs on the podium with either a GTR, a Supra, or both joining them on there.
Yep, and I think my prediction, and this is going to be a shock to you guys, I think Dadson's going to get top 5.
I agree with you, actually.
Yep.
I can see that happening.
Yep. Yeah.
He's renowned for casting doubt upon himself, but he's sitting in P6 at the moment, and if I recall correctly, he finished P5 in his last race, was it?
Yeah, I think so. I think you might be right. Anyway, I think we might, while you've been drawing on that big red button, it's a wonder you haven't actually accidentally started the race with it. So, yeah, I reckon whenever you are ready, we might head off.
I am keen. Let's go.
As I'm just watching Captain Muffin now walked out of the CP pit lane there. It looks like he's been having some chats while they're packing up.
Yes, very much been talking about how we need to improve the internet connection, in this part of the world. Unfortunately, last week, CP was caught out by a low latency, or high latency, I should say.
The familiar 5 lights of Gran Turismo Sport 7. And we are underway at Fuji Division 2. DP Mario has had a shocking start there. It looks like the Ferrari of Tolunacy has actually been beaten off the line by Tim Durags. They're going to go 4 wide into turn 1. It doesn't work. And Stickers goes round the outside. He's up to P5 at the moment. Everyone's gotten through very, very cleanly. Good job so far by everybody involved in Division 2. Making their way to Coca-Cola Corner now, and it looks like the pressure is on for Tim Durags, who's got the lead. Tolunacy right behind in that ballet-footed Ferrari. 458 for Blacklight Motorsport.
Seeing all these drivers get through T1 so cleanly, Makes me very, very proud as a race director. So good work, guys.
And you've just jinxed it because Stickers has had an absolute moment going through 100R. Just ran wide. I think you put the commentator's curse on him there a little bit, Carbon Boy, because, yeah, he went off as soon as you said that. Anyway.
It's just an inbuilt talent I have, what can I say?
This battle pack early on, just very, very close by, keeping tabs on all these drivers here. Entire field absolutely neck and neck at this point. Absolutely torrential rain pouring down here at Fuji.
I can't find any drivers that have the weather radar up on their HUD at the moment, so I can't see what's going on. Muffin, what does it look like for you down there in the pits? Can you give us any insight?
Oh yes, I can tell you with absolute confidence that it's wet and it's not drying up anytime soon.
Much to the dismay of the Bacchus Brewing, Statson Racing, as Statson has a big, big moment on the exit of Panasonic corner there. Just lit up the rear ends, and he might be cannon fodder here to CGK. The Mercedes has got good aero here, so it should work out, but he's in the top 5 at this point. CGK thinks about to move up the inside. No. That's Patstar, though. Patstar's starting to get a little bit itchy.
Oh, he definitely thought about it, but I think the breaking points of Dadson and CGK in front of him just caught him out a little bit, so he took the safer option, is to just get on the anchors as hard as he could, and he actually did really, really well to not go into the back of the two in front of him there, so good effort, Patstar.
Yeah, he's done very well, but he's got two very, very fast Supras behind him. Oop. Just jumped on board with Patstar. He's got Black Friday to his left-hand side as they enter the hairpin now. Black Friday taking that tighter line. Old Wakey wants to have a little bit of a word about this, though. That qualifying for Old Wakey really, really hampering his chances of getting a podium here. He's been quick for a little while as Black Friday goes up the inside of Patstar. Gets it done as well. That's a good move. Patstar fights back. Can't get it done around the outside of turn 11, though. It looks like Old Wakey's going to make the move up the inside at the same time, so Patstar's just getting boxed out a little here.
Now, we're only just under 2 laps in, but already the top 2 of Tim Durags and the Lunacy have checked out to Evil Evo to the tune of 2 seconds.
Ooh. Danger signs then for the rest of the field at this point. Don't want to let Lunacy get away. That Ferrari, very fleet-footed. It's a car that you don't really want to let it get on top of you, especially in terms of tyre life, because we saw in Spa-Francorchamps, for example, he really looked after the car and was able to put pressure on a couple of drivers and get them to force some errors. So it'll be up to Tim
Just
Durags.
got an eye on Patstar and Old Wakey having a bit of a drag race down the main straight here with Stickers in tow.
So Stickers has started to recover just a little bit from that off at turn 1. He's going to look up the inside now of Patstar.
Yeah, Patstar had a look at Old Wakey down the inside of turn 1, but backed out of it, which compromised his corner speed and let Stickers just let him know that he's there.
Yeah, you can see Stickers just fighting the oversteer of the Supra at the moment. Supra is a very quick car in a straight line. It's also really, really handy around the corners, but once it's wet...
And once it's sideways, it is very, very sideways.
Oh, he thought about the move at the hairpin. Set it up very nicely at 100R, did Stickers, as he goes wide and he's off! Off into the gravel, onto the grass, gets it back, but there's going to be a lot of mud on those tyres. So that's the second time that's happened now for Stickers. We'll show you the first time when he went off. And that was while he was sitting in P6, just went wide. And wasn't able to gather it back up. Lost all those positions. So he's had to go and fight back and get all those positions back again. But we'll go back up the front now. And it looks like Tim Durags 1.8 seconds clear of Lunacy at the moment, which is a bit of a surprise for mine. I thought... Lunacy after that qualifying session might just pull away and really start to make hay while the sun shines, but Looks like
Tim's done very well there. Last time we checked in, just over a lap ago, that gap was only just over 1 second. So he's managed to put another 7 or 8 tenths on him.
Yep, and I don't know if the Ferrari's got an answer right now for this. He's Tim Durax just at the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 57.226. As he runs out a little bit wide though. Oh, he's able to gather it up, but oh, that's the see, those are the mistakes you don't want to make on a guy like Lunacy with behind you. Because Lunacy, make no bones about it, he will not let you rest. And just on board with DP Mario at this point, he's P4 at the moment. He's got 2 seconds in front of him, 2 seconds behind him, but he usually runs those really aggressive strategies, which will be very intriguing to see what he actually does tonight. Looking very.
I am keen as well to see how he responds in terms of strategy to the changing weather conditions tonight, because while it is borderline torrential rain at this point in the race, the overall weather forecast for the race does show it to dry up a little bit later on in the race. So having a driver who's aware of what's going on around them in terms of the weather and the changing track conditions, and can alter their strategy on the fly to accommodate those changes, is certainly something that is of great advantage to you.
Yeah, and I think that as long as it's wet, Dadson will be a factor in this top 5 as well. He's not really losing out to DP Mario, which shows that he's got pace. He's bringing CGK with him though.
Gentlemen, if I may avert your eyes quickly down, going down the pit straight, we got a drag race going here between Tim Durags and Lunacy. It's going to be a nice fight in the T1. Tim Durags has gone very defensive here. Lunacy, though, with the slipstream and now the fastest lap of the race, this could be very interesting going to the T1. Very much too wide at this point. Ooh, this is going to be good.
Too wide into turn 1 into Daichi, and Lunacy's gone too deep! Way too deep!
Hugely deep.
That will be... Oh.
He's managed to pull it back on track, and he's just put himself 8 tenths back behind Tim Durag. So that wasn't terminal, not the end of the world, but that might cast some doubt in his mind as to where he can brake for the turn 1 next lap.
We'll just take a look at the replay for what just transpired there. That was just insanely deep braking there from Lunacy. You can see, that's where it is. He's just hit a big patch of water on the braking, and it's just thrown the left rear out a little bit. The end result, just sort of aquaplaned off, just trying to gather it back up. As going back a little bit, PLE Black Friday, back up to P7 now, and seems to be just starting to get the hang of these conditions. He was, if I recall, P10. I can't remember off the top of my head where he qualified. As Pat Star has a big moment, big moment into Dunlop, and that is unfortunate for the Doghouse esports driver.
You are correct. PLE Friday did start the race in P10.
And that is huge. He's got a lot more pace to find. He's got plenty of time on his side. Still 19 laps to go, as we'll take a quick look at the replay of what happened there. It's just gone a little bit wide, clips the grass. It's absolute mud out there. Slid it into the shadow realm, and that is Pat Star to the back of the field. Tim Durag's in the lead at the moment, still 9 tenths of a second ahead. He's done a 1 minute 58.2 last lap. Actually increased the gap to Lunacy because of that mistake. Lunacy struggling under braking. That Ferrari really unstable at the moment. You can just hear the throttle. He's just absolutely bearing it. We'll jump on board. He just seems to have a lot of control through the corners, but on exit he's really struggling with the way the Ferrari wants to put the power down, as Tim Durags takes that very wide line. You can hear the oh, look at the throttle just feathering it, showing you how hard at the moment Lunacy is having to work to keep up with Tim Durags. He's
Just
pushing.
looking at Lunacy drive here as well on the big screens. He's almost driving like he's Ayrton Senna back in the turbo era of the F Formula Ones. He's more or less doing everything he can to keep the turbo spooled up, which is good for pace, but in the wet, is you want all that power going to the rear wheels constantly?
Yeah, and that's the big thing in the wet. You want the tyres to last. He's definitely closing in, though, on Tim Durags. Look at the amount of time he's found just since Dunlop Corner. Approaching nets, and he's widened that gap by at least half. Tim Durags goes defensive. Just seems that to Lunacy, he's just heating those rear tyres up. Seems to find something. Goes out wide. He's going to cut in and try and make the most of the straight. And it's definitely worked. Look at that. He's found 0.3 of a second just on the straight alone. This is going to be a drag race as they head down to turn 1. And Daichi, there's absolutely nothing in this as the gap is dropping very, very slowly. They break into turn 1. Who's going to break the deepest? Is it going to be Durags or is it going to be Lunacy? Durags just holds the line to Lunacy around the outside. Surely not. Does he get it done? He does. What a move. Around the outside of Daichi. That is a fantastic move for the race lead. To Lunacy assumes control of the Division 2 race at Fuji. We will take a look at the replay of that move. Just round the outside, just held it there. The Ferrari had good grip on the exits. He saw it a couple of times. And that is beautifully done. Has Tim Duragso got anything to fight back with is the real question here. So we will keep our eyes peeled on this battle. But I think we might go to a fuel and tyre report presented by APR Automotive. You're in safe hands. Cumberland, take it away.
Rightio. Well, at the moment, as I say that, as Tim Durags is having a red-hot look at the chicane, is the Lunacy running the intermediate compound. Tyre wear is absolutely minimal, so I'm not going to bother reporting on percentages. He has approximately 55% fuel in the tank. Tim Durags is probably 1 or 2% less as he sends it down the inside. Also running the intermediate compound. Evil Evo also on the intervals with about 55% fuel. DP Mario on the same percentage of fuel, running the fully wet compound tyre. Dadson, again, about 55% fuel on the intermediates. CGK is doing a really good job of hounding Dadson and saving fuel. He's got over 60% in the tank while running the intermediate compound. PLE Prague Friday is under siege at the moment from Old Wakey in a super drag race down the main straight, running the full wet compound with about 55% fuel. Old Wakey's on the intermediate, near on identical for fuel, and I've just got to watch these two going into turn 1 because this is going to be sensational.
Old Wakey goes up the inside, gets the job done. Up to P7 now. Black Friday thought about the cross. Nope.
There we go. And back to Pat Star. P9 is just over half a tank of fuel on the full wet compound. And Stickers appears to have had an absolute mare on the previous lap with a 2-minute 30 lap time. He is 32 seconds off the back of Pat Star at the moment, running the inters and just over half a tank of fuel.
And that is the APR Automotive fuel and tyre update presented to you by Carbon Boy. APR Automotive, you're in safe hands. I finally nailed that catchphrase. Anyway, back up the front to Lunacy at the moment. 0.7 of a second clear of Tim Durags. So it seems like to Lunacy just starting to break away a little bit here. Durags doing a great job though, just to not let him go completely. Still within touching distance of a slipstream. You can hear the throttle of the Ferrari just really feathering it at this point. And a little bit of a dry line starting to form. Muffin, are you down at the pit lane? Is there anything going on in terms of what the weather's like down there?
Well, unbelievably, the rain for the time being has cleared up. It still is very moist out here, but no extra rain has fallen from the sky. A few teams are still currently trying to fox each other. Whether they go to the slicks, whether they don't, trying to force another team into a pit stop, which will hopefully gain them a position or two. But overall, conditions are looking a bit drier now, but not dry enough for the slicks.
Sorry guys, just got a drag race going on down the main straight with CGK and Dadson. Dadson went a little wide at the final turn, which gave CGK the inside, but the power of that Mercedes down the main straight over the Porsche.
Oh, he really still wants to fight this one. He braked probably a little bit earlier than I thought he might. And CGK up to P5 now. Dadson. He wants to earn himself that can of nitrous hopside tonight, that's for sure. He's doing a great job at the moment. Just with this track drying though, my mind has wandered to DP Mario and seeing where he is at with a 1 minute 53.5 last lap. But the more this track dries, the more his tyres are going to burn. Wonder what he's going to do. Is he going to be able to... you go.
So far he's doing a really good job of looking after them. There's no noticeable wear as he's actually 1 second purple through that second sector.
Wow. So these guys here in the battle for 5th to 8th, anyone's game at this point. PLE Black Friday, he is down in P8 at this point, but he's by no means is he out of this. There's 19 seconds covering the top 8, but if anyone makes a mistake, it's well and truly on for a top 5 for any of these guys. As we just go back up now to the battle to Lunacy and Tim Durags, and that gap is starting to expand now. The lap time's just about to be smashed, and there you go, 3.7 seconds difference. So tyres are starting to become a bit of an issue for a lot of drivers there. I think that's Evil Evo down the back, just starting to cool the tyres of the Alpha off. It was a full second slower than to Lunacy. And for Division 2, you'd have to say Evil Evo, in the little Alpha that could, it's been an absolute standout so far. He's P3 in the points. And make no bones about it, that's not a fluke. That is pure driving talent. So Evil Evo should be very, very happy with his season at this point, as he is extending that gap now to DP Mario. It was 5.2 only a lap ago, so now it's up to 6.1. DP Mario set his fastest lap of the race last lap out, but even so, a full second slower as he slides it through 100R. It looks like he's really starting to struggle in terms of the grip of those tyres. A little bit further down though, Dadson under siege as well from Old Wakey. Dadson searching for some water just to cool those tyres down.
Guys, if I may jump in quickly, Tim Durags has had a spin. He has lost about 4 and a bit seconds to Lunacy in front and has got a half-second penalty to boot.
Oh no! So that's just a bit of a own goal there to Tim Durags as he spins it around again. He's gone again. Oh no, and that's put Evil Evo up to P2. And a half-second penalty to boot. That is very, very unfortunate turn of events there. I wonder if the rears are just starting to really hurt. There are a couple of guys here that are starting to struggle enormously in terms of their laps. Looks like DP Mario's coming in. He is coming in, so he's the first to blink.
I'll keep an eye on him in the pit lane here, guys, but from what I can tell, they've got a nice set of slicked soft tyres as Old Wakey follows them in as well. I'll keep an eye on the exit of the pit lane and we'll see how they both come out.
Wonder if the track has just gotten to a point now where the crossover is worth thinking about, or have they gone too early? The problem is if you go off that line and the track's not dry enough, you're in for an absolute world of pain.
Yep. We've also got Pastar coming in as well.
I have been wrong many, many times before, and I'm sure this won't be the last, but I'm predicting they might have just jumped the gun a little bit on this one.
Yeah, I think it
just
might be
watching
right.
DP Mario's coming out of the pit lane now, very cautious on the throttle, and he's made it to the racing line. I think he may have pulled a blinder here. Same with Old Wakey, it's done the same. The track, while it's not perfectly dry, is good for for slick tyres as Wakey goes wide.
Oh, he has
jinxing
to.
Commentator's curse.
He has gone very wide. And he would have lost a lot of time, but he might make it a little bit up in terms of going to this wet from wet to dry. The thing is, he's got to put tyre temp in those into those Michelins, and I don't know if going off like that's going to help. But DP Mario at this point is probably the one to keep an eye on. No, he's run wide as well at the hairpin. So these guys might have just blinked a little too early. Muffin, you may be right on this one.
Somewhere after they get told on rights.
The Lunacy's just set a 1:46.994 fastest lap and continues on again on those intermediates.
Yeah, if I'm some of these guys a bit further down, I might be starting to consider maybe coming in the next lap or two.
Just want to say as well, guys, as CGK beats that lap time, now doing a 46.7 best lap time. Lunacy was pretty good with a 46.9, but Evil Evo did a 47.0, who was right there with him. If I was Evil Evo at this point, Evil Evo I should say, at this point right now, I'd consider the soft tyres and try and undercut Lunacy in front of him.
Would you go, but could the mediums in theory last half the race? That's the real question here, because if you could get home on a set of mediums, would you take the risk? That's
in all honesty, Karen, a set of soft tyres can last half the race.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
As Tim Durags just wants a little bit wide.
Especially in these colder conditions, their tyre life extends out. You could probably do 14 laps on a set of softs in these conditions.
CGK starting to get very hungry here. He's got his teammate Tim Durags in front, and feels like he's the faster of the two ISA Esports Porsches. So it's starting to feel like a little bit of a Lando Norris Oscar Piastri to Japan moment today with this one. Oh, and he's definitely hunting CGK.
Now, just looking at the fuel situation between the two teammates, CGK doesn't have to pass his teammate on track. He has quite the noticeable fuel advantage over Tim, to the tune of, I'd say, at least 10%.
I think it's going to come to a point where, if you're playing from a team perspective, Tim Durags might have to just move out of the way slightly. They're going to go around again. Lunacy set a 1:45.2 for the fastest lap of the race. It's definitely starting to ease up. It's DP Mario at this point. Just interesting to see what his lap time is going to be, whether he's had a moment or not.
Black Friday's into the pits, getting rid of those fully wet tyres.
Yeah, I think
which I'm fairly certain he'll be happy to get rid of them.
If you're on a wet tyre right now, you're probably going to have to come in and give that one up, as CJK still harassing Tim Durags. You can hear these intermediates just absolutely protesting from CGK. He's going to have a big run here into the hairpin. Is he going to get it done? Oh, he goes up the inside. He's definitely going to have traction.
Wonder if there's any team radio going on between those two.
Just want to say as well, guys, looking ahead here, looking behind, sorry, DP Mario's first lap on the softs was a 45.4, which was about, actually, let me double check that number quickly, 45.4, which is about 0.2 of a second behind what Lunacy did, but then old Wakey proved me wrong and did a 44.7 best lap time on the soft tyres, so I think at this point, we're past the crossover. Anyone still on the inters or wets now should change.
Yep, and I'm just looking at the first sector for old Wakey, and he's 1.3 seconds up already in the first sector alone. So I think
Karen's done a meatloaf on me there. He's taken the words right out of my mouth.
As to Lunacy pits, he's finally in. Pat Star's in as well.
Evil Evo saw Lunacy come in and decided, nope, I'm going to stay out and go another lap. Doing the overcut, Evil Evo is.
Evil Evo's done a fantastic job, though, of looking after these tyres. He has tried to find water where he can just to cool him down as Pat Star's gone off, and that hasn't helped Evil Evo, who's run way too deep.
Oh dear, that has not gone well. That's not going to do good things for your overcut strategy.
No, and that's not what Evil Evo needed right now. He just followed his teammate in. It looks like he might have gone one lap too many. We'll jump on board with DP Mario now, who's on the front straight. Lunacy's out of the pits, so Lunacy's cleared him.
Yep. Lunacy's gone deep though. Lunacy's gone deep in T1.
Oh no. So Lunacy's run very, very wide as well. So that's just a little bit of a kick in the a kick into the own goal there for Lunacy losing time.
CGK's done the same.
So CGK, that's not good.
Oh,
There's a lot of drivers here who are struggling with that first lap on the cold racing softs.
I think what's catching them out is, as they come out the pit lane, they think they're already on the dry line, so they hit the anchors thinking the track's dry, but unfortunately it's not completely dry yet, and when they hit the dry line they're carrying much more speed than what they really should be, and that's what's sending them off track.
yeah, and Dadson's come out in cold, soft tyres, and he's got Old Wakey all over his rear end. Old Wakey, of course, sitting on those beautifully warmed up tyres, and he is not afraid to throw it. As he goes around the outside of the hairpin, goes to switch back in, but Pele Black Friday is right there, and they're going to go 3 wide out of the hairpin. And Dadson is a little bit of a cut, little bit of a bump. Just a tiny bit of a nose cut there from Wakey on Dadson. Wakey goes up the inside. Can he pull it up? Does get it done. That is 2 for the price of 1 there from Wakey. He's just got the tyres up to temp. And he's been able to make it happen as Evil Evo has come in. Lunacy should clear him pretty comfortably. But the battle really is CGK versus Evil Evo. That's where it is.
Yep. Also, I want to add DP Mario to that mix as well. He's right there with him.
So DP Mario pitting early. If it wasn't for that outlap, I think DP would be probably 4 or 5 seconds ahead of this. As Evil Evo's come out.
I'm looking at the fuel load that CGK is carrying. I'm just wondering, has he miscalculated his fuel at the pit stop?
Maybe. How much has he got?
He is about the 60% mark, whereas for comparison, DP Mario, right on his rear bumper, is sitting on about 70%. So I'm not sure if the fuel economy of the Porsche is... we have a yellow flag.
Is that for... Who have we got that's off?
I believe it was for Pat Star and P10, I believe.
So it just goes from bad to worse for Pat Star as DP Mario goes around and smashes to the wall. That is huge.
Did he just get off that dry line, perhaps?
He did. We'll jump to a replay real quick. Just caught it. And yep, he's just gone onto the wet line and has absolutely plonked the wall. And that puts him back in P6 now. That has given Old Wakey and Black Friday a big kick.
But if they keep battling the way they are, that's going to bring Mario straight back into it. Because they are swinging haymakers at each other right now.
Well, the big thing as well in front in terms of haymakers, it's CGK versus Evil Evo. CGK has gotten past. Evil Evo pitted, came out to hold track position, and of course, with those cold tyres, has not been able to mount much of a challenge, but he does have a bit of a slipstream against the Porsche.
Meanwhile, to his credit, the Lunacy has cleared out to the tune of nearly 13 seconds.
So, Lenocious, of course, not racing tonight, but, mate, I'd start being a bit worried if I were you, if this guy's taking points. I do believe in terms of the drop round, I know Lenocious missed the first round. I do believe he may have missed the second. I'm not too sure. But I also know that he has had a 20-point penalty in the start of the season for a late car change to the Supra.
I believe that point penalty has already been applied.
Ah, there we go. So
at least it has been in the team's points.
Yeah, I do think you're right.
Ask me how I know.
And in that regard, Lunacy still has 2 drop rounds. So we will...
Sorry, Evil Evo was halfway through a big send on CGK right there in the coming into the braking zone for the chicane, as he was 2/10 purple through that sector as well. So Evil Evo is certainly finding some pace with that little elf of the could.
And speaking of pace, PLE Black Friday has got around Old Wakey. And looks like Old Wakey might not have the pace to keep up with Black Friday here. as DP Mario 2.2 seconds clear of Dadson now. Looking at the drop rounds as well in terms of results, the lowest result I can see here is a 10th at, no, not a 10th, he's had a 7th at,
Oh, hang on. Evil Evo making a move on CGK coming into turn 1. It's on the outside.
He's on the outside as well. Doesn't want to go too wide. It's still a bit wet out there. Jump on board the Alfa Romeo for Doghouse.
They are coming up on lapped traffic in the tune of Pat Star, Evil Evo's teammate. So I would imagine he would be keeping a very close eye on that blue flag and the traffic behind him, and will hopefully do the right thing and just step out of the way after this hairpin.
So just checking back at results as well in terms of.
And he does so. Pulls to the side outside of the track. Good work, Paddy. It's great to see.
Yep, that is fantastic sportsmanship as Evil Evo sends it around the outside. Is he going to get the job done? No, he can't.
Not quite this time, but he's certainly piling on the pressure, trying to force an error out of CGK.
Oh, he's got the inside line though, and CGK, little bit of bumping and grinding. Evil Evo gets through. And if I'm PLE Black Friday, I want these two not to just throw haymakers at each other, throw roundhouse kicks, throw kitchen sinks, everything.
And CGK's done that as he's trying to hold the outside line around the Panasonic, I believe, the final corner.
Correct. As
and he holds it around the outside and leads the drag race down the main straight.
Oh, this is tight and tense stuff as well. And old Wakey's gotten around PLE Black Friday yet again. So quite a few good battles happening up and down the field at this point as CGK now gets out-dragged by Evil Evo. Evil Evo breaks nice and early though. Just is CGK looking for the switchback? Does look for the switchback, but he can't make it happen.
Evil Evo parked it beautifully on the apex. Just gave the Porsche nowhere to go.
So that means Evil Evo is now in P2. Huge for the Doghouse Motorsports crew.
But the Black Friday Old Wakey battle isn't going away either.
No, it's not. And P4 at the moment for Old Wakey, considering the rough start he had, he'll be taking this. And he's not out of touch with CGK for a third position. It'd be a phenomenal drive if he could get there. And
another battle I foresee happening in another lap or two will possibly be between DP Mario and Dadson in P6 and 7 respectively. Dadson, who is 500ths purple in that second sector there, is slowly taking tenths out of DP Mario. The gap's down to 1.6 seconds now, where it was in the vicinity of 3 seconds only a few laps ago.
Being the early pit runner though, is Mario just going a little bit too hard on his tyres perhaps?
He does have noticeably more wear than the other drivers around him, but with only 6 laps to go, I do think he will make it to the end on them.
Looks like CGK now. He's just lost out to the back of Evil Evo. It seems that the Porsche in the dry just hasn't got anything for Evil Evo in the Doghouse Alpha, but you're definitely right about this whole Wakey Black Friday battle. That is not going anywhere anytime soon.
It's going to be a 3-way battle very, very soon because they are down to under a second behind CGK at the moment.
Yep, it seems CGK might not have anything left for Evil Evo, but he's going to have to get the elbows out and just try and throw a few. Old Wakey's starting to close in. Be a Herculean task if he actually gets to the podium here, Old Wakey, especially with Black Friday swarming him since the pit stop, mind you. It's been a great drive so far by Wakey and Black Friday as well. Black Friday, just a little bit of a love tap, letting him know he's there. We'll jump on board now with the Red Mist Racing Supra. Oh, Wakey, just a little bit of a itchy throttle there. as they head up through Net's corner and up to the Panasonic corner now. It just seems that, yep, Old Wakey just a little bit wide. This will give Black Friday a big run on the straight. Can Black Friday get this done, though? They have caught CGK. There is a podium position up for grabs here. They are both closing in relentlessly. Look at this. CGK's got nothing for them. Both of them go sailing by before they get to Daichi. Old Wakey now up to P3, and just like that, CGK out of the podium position. So, is CGK in a spot of tyre life bother, or is the fuel situation really starting to play its part for him?
His tyres are actually looking fairly healthy from where I'm sitting. And the fuel situation has actually... It's not as dire as I would have thought. That Porsche does seem to be better on its fuel than I had anticipated, because he's only a few percent lower on fuel than Black Friday and Old Wakey in front of him, and he's pretty much on par with DP Mario, who's currently 3.4 seconds behind him.
Speaking of DP Mario, though, and how he's going at the moment, how are his tyres compared to Dadson? Because Dadson did his fastest lap of the race last lap out, 1 minute 40.291, and definitely starting to really eke in on DP Mario, who was 6/10 slower on the last lap.
DP Mario's fastest lap is a 1 minute 40.6, which he did on lap 18. But in terms of tyre life between the both of them, DP Mario's front left on that racing soft is currently got about 25-30% left, and that rear left has about 60% left. Whereas Dadson, having pitted that little bit later, his front and rears are relatively equal as he does his best lap of a 39.9. He's looking at about 70% left on both of his left-hand side tyres, so he has quite a... Oh,
that's... Yeah, I just heard someone go around.
That's stickers. Sorry, no, that was a lapped car. Stickers, unfortunately, going a bit wide at T1.
He's having a very rough night of stickers, and it all started so promising for the Lightning Motorsports Spearhead very early on in the season. Of course, he was very, very strong at Daytona and at Nürburgring. And since then, it's just all gone wrong.
Yeah, as I was saying, there is going to be a noticeable tyre deficit between DP Mario and Dadson, and that is showing in terms of the delta between the two, which is down to 0.8 of a second.
Oh, we've had a move for the podium positions here. PLE Black Friday is now into third. And Old Wakey and CGK. CGK's fine. I think he's got a bit of a second wind here at the moment, because he is not let these guys go. And at one stage, he looked like he was going for all money as he tries to throw up at Net's corner.
And CGK does have better tyres than Black Friday and Old Wakey in front of him. It's just a matter of whether he gets the opportunity to use them or not.
They're just seeing like that they could... They're just... Oh, it's hard to explain. They're really trying to throw everything at this P3. Black Friday looks like he's just starting to get away a little bit from these guys. So Old Wakey goes on defensive. CGK up the inside. On Daichi.
Nicely done.
Good move. Puts him up to 4th position, so the podium is not out of order. And speaking of someone that's struggling now, DP Mario under real fire from Dadson. The Division 3 champion starting to really reel in. See what I did there? Really reel in with the commentary there. Guys in chat, let me know. That was probably awful. Dad jokes 101 anyway.
I'm proud you didn't trip over yourself doing that one. As CGK is right on the backside of PLE Black Friday. Can he make a move going into the chicane?
Oh, he sort of wanted to throw a feint. Ended up staying on the outside. Black Friday is going to be compromised a little bit in terms of the exit, but he seems to have gotten away all right.
Old Wakey still hanging around as well.
Yeah, he's hanging around like a bad smell. And I can tell you this with confidence, I don't think he's going to be losing that battle. As CGK up the inside at Panasonic corner. Does he get it done? Oh, a little bit of an oversteering moment on the exit. The Super, of course, an absolute bullet down the straights.
Yeah, there's no real likelihood of you winning a drag race down the main straight in a Porsche against a Supra. There's going to be some gamesmanship going on here.
Oop, and down just a little bit further back, there's also a drag race between Mario and Dadson. CGK just gives Black Friday a little bit of a love tap. DP Mario running very wide at the moment. Dadson will make the most of it. Takes P6. Great move by the Bacchus Racing, Dadson Racing crew, team owner, cheerleader.
Yeah, that front left tire on the Black Rose GDR has certainly seen better days. It is 95% cooked.
Yeah, I'm wondering
as he still sends it down the inside of the chicane, but unfortunately runs deep, which lets Dadson cut back underneath him and resume his P6 position.
Yeah, and I think DP is one of those guys, he loves a big scrap. He might just have a look at the inside. Dadson goes very, very defensive here. And I think Mario, I don't know. We might just go back up to this battle though with CGK and Wakey and Black Friday, because this is the battle for the podium spots. Definitely on like a Saturday night karaoke session at the moment. It sounds like CGK wants to belt out horses for fun, because he is in the tow. What this is doing is letting old Wakey stick with him, but we'll wait and see as the final lap begins. CGK, he's got the outside line heading into Daichi. Can it get it done? Who's the late breaker? CGK breaks really deep. Can he pull it up? No, he doesn't. Black Friday sticks on the inside.
Oh, I had my heart in my mouth for a moment there. I swore CGK was going off the track, but he's done a phenomenal job to pull it up.
He's done a great job. He's holding up very, very well. Black Friday in P3 at this point. I think old Wakey now, I think it might have cursed him. His confidence is gone. Dadson has cleared DP Mario, but this battle for P3 still well and truly on. There's only a couple more spots left. The most important overtaking spot coming up here into Dunlop Corner, turn 10.
I have a sneaking suspicion Black Friday might just have CGK covered here.
Oh,
because even, as we saw on the last lap, even if you can get down the inside of the Super or onto the main straight, it's just got the full beans. It'll just blow right past you before the finish line.
And speaking as raw speed to lunacy, dominated from start to finish. If ever there was a challenger to Lenosius, it's Lunacy, who takes out another win here at Fuji Speedway. Second position and an absolutely fantastic drive in the little Alpha that could.
Oh, we've got a drag race on for P3. CGK sent it down the inside of Panasonic. I think he might just... Oh, this is going to be close.
This is going to be tight. Look at the split dropping. There's nothing in it. 7 thousandths of a second between CGK and Black Friday. Old Wakey takes P5. Dadson in 6th. DP Mario will finish in 7th. Tim Durags. What could it be?
Wow.
What a drag race between those two. Tim Durags in 8th. Pat Star in P9.
Final corner, absolute mayhem, and in a good way.
Stickers in P10. He will come across the line. But a massive congratulations does go to Lunacy. He has really started to stamp his authority as the true championship contender. And looking at Suzuka and furthermore Monza, it's going to be a very, very heavy battle between Lenosius and Lunacy. What a finish to that race. And we will just take our time to get our breath back, because that was phenomenal. as we go to the... Oh, wow, Muffin, I think I could see you down at the end of the pit lane there, absolutely screaming your head off at that drag race. That was...
Karen, all I can say is that my mouth is still wide open, and all the flies, dragonflies, and all the various Japanese insects are currently flying in there. That was phenomenal to watch in the pit lane.
Oh, wow. We better get to the race results anyway. And Delunacy takes the chocolates by 17 seconds, showing that, yeah, the qualifying pace was there backed up in the race. Evil Evo, second position. Doghouse, we're extremely happy with that. More points in the bank. CGK, 7 thousandths of a second to PLE Black Friday. That battle was absolutely fantastic. Old Wakey P5. You'd be pretty happy with that considering where he started. Dadson in 6th. Mario P7. Tim Durags in 8th with the fastest lap of the race, the 1 minute 39.222. Pat Star P9 and Stickers in 10th position. How do you pick the driver of the day from that one? Because, well, you could pick...
All right, I'll go first. I'll tell you how I'm going to pick my driver of the day from that one. I'm going to give my driver of the day to PLE Black Friday. Started in P10, finished 7 thousandths off the podium.
Yep. And he absolutely threw haymakers at that one. And, yeah, just very, very unfortunate. It was just that last probably 2 or 3 meters would have done it. But, yeah, if the finish line was actually at the same place as the start line, he probably would have got him. Muffin?
Ooh, for me personally, I'm gonna go for a bit of a different one. I'm gonna say Dadson, my driver of the day. Really did well in the conditions in a car that just hasn't been very hooked up this season. To get a nice P6 after starting, that position or 5th possibly. Don't quote me on that. He's just a nice, consistent drive, and you couldn't ask too much more of that from the Dadson Racing captain / leader.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to give my driver of the day to, well, he started in P10, made his way into P4, narrowly missing the podium, PLE Black Friday, and I think a couple of the guys in chat have fired in as well and said, yeah, driver of the day, Friday and CGK from Robert Rice. Womble has said he's keeping Black Friday, so, yep, looks like Black Friday might be locked into another contract at Red Mist. We'll wait and see. The Good Doctor said, epic final lap, guys. Well done. I agree. That was phenomenal, even though I've lost my voice a little bit. Driver of the day, CGK from Snake Eyes and Shizer. Lunacy will be scouting for a seat next season, remember, guys. So that's a big, big, big point because, yeah, he's going to be very, very hot property coming into Season 8. Driver of the day, CGK from Robert Rice. Black Friday from CGK. What an amazing race from him. Debrev has said Black Friday. Friday drive so well from CGK. CGK driver of the day. Friday driver of the day. Are we going to have a tie?
Kind of hard to pick between CGK and Friday.
Yeah. I'm stuck. We'll have to follow that one up in Discord, I reckon, guys. We might have to do a vote. And speaking of the Discord as well, if you have a look at our description for this video, you will see that our Discord link is in there. So jump in, make yourself known, say g'day, and get ready to enter in the community series if you are not a member of Sector 1, of course. Our next community series event in a couple of weeks' time. It is on the 5th of October, so Bathurst week, which will be very, very fun indeed. And speaking of what's coming up soon, next week, once the Formula 1 paddock has cleaned up and knowing how the Japanese are in terms of cleanliness, they clean out soccer stadiums after games, even at rival clubs and all that jazz. We are going to be at Suzuka, which will be fantastic, and quite a few of the Division 1 guys already down there and enjoying the atmosphere of Formula 1 today. I understand that it's going to be on for young and old, and it's in the GT4s, the final GT4 race of the season. Muffin and Carbon Boy, as guys that'll be racing next week. How are you feeling about that one?
You can go first, Muffin.
My answer is going to be short and sweet. I unfortunately will be unavailable for that race, so I'm not too sure what to feel.
Ooh, and Carbon Boy?
All right. I'm thankful that it's the last Group 4 race because I don't know if I've made my feelings on this known at all before, but I'll be very clear now. I cannot stand the 8.6.
I've liked it at some tracks, and then there's others where I just want to burn it. But anyway, speaking of next week, yeah, Group A, Divisions 1 and 3, the final round before we implement the drop round system as far as I'm aware, so we get a really good look at the championship tally, and it's going to be absolute haymaker central. There's going to be guys that are going to be wanting to make their last ditch efforts in terms of really taking the fight up to the championship leaders in Mr. Bumcrack and Jeesh. So stay tuned for that one. That is coming up this time next week, Sunday night, 7 p.m. And that will be daylight saving time. We will try and make sure, though, that the whole field's in, because it's also Bathurst week, as far as I'm aware. Or is that... No. That's Group B week. Anyway... massive thank you, first of all, goes to my co-commentators here, Muffin and Carbon Boy, for being in the box tonight. And in Muffin's case, down in the pit lane soaking wet. He's just put water all over the comms box. So, sorry, Lonocious.
It's okay. Nothing wrong with the moisture. We do like it moist here at Sector 1, so it's okay. I'm just doing you guys a favour. You are welcome.
And Carbon Boy, thank you for bringing the cookies as well.
The cookies are nothing compared to the nice, moist muffin we have at the moment.
Oh, God.
And on that note, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in for Sector 1 tonight. It's been a pleasure as always.
We'll let that slide because it's past 9 o'clock. Massive thank you does go to everybody watching. 27 likes on the stream. Absolutely fantastic effort. And hopefully we can hit 30 likes for Group A in Suzuka next week. And big thanks to everyone who got behind the wheel tonight and braved the conditions is probably the best way of saying it, especially Division 2. Very, very wet indeed. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You have been watching Sector 1, Fuji Speedway. Round 10 is run and done. My name is Brent, a.k.a. Karen, signing off for now. And, of course, make sure you try Carbon Boy's beautiful cookies. Good night, everybody.